Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 227. Back down in the basement with my son and co-host, Jack. Just got back. I feel like we say this a lot. Just got back from a dinner, and we don't really go out that much. But it's constantly, hey, we're out for a big family dinner, but we were. This time with the other side of the family, right? With grandparents and great aunts and cousins and uncles and your immediate family. As you
Indeed.
Indeed. Ate too much food. Italian this time. Pretty good. And your big news is something finally came in the mail for you this week, right?
The prodigal son.
Yes, we have your Takeshita.
Mr. Takeshita. Beautiful. Honestly, I think that's pretty nicely proportioned and whatever. Like,
It looks good.
Appropriately large. And he didn't have an elbow pad, though. Which
Hair's a bit light. That's all I would
Hair's
say.
definitely too brown, but like it's not horrible for me. So, plus I just need the Takeshita. The other one is going to be too hard to find, especially for a Canadian boy.
Yeah.
So, this is what we deal with. Because it's not like Jay White has a chase too, but he also has a standard one. Takeshi's is just the chase, which bothers me.
How has your first week without braces been?
Swell.
Yeah. Got the retainer, which is
living large.
much nicer than what I got.
I don't have a lisp, so that's all I care.
Yeah, I haven't noticed. That's what was your concern. It was going to affect your speech, because I think for some people it does, right?
That's what my friend told me at work.
But not everybody, right? So
Yeah.
I haven't noticed
I'm
anything.
better.
Like you're wearing it right now, and I
Yeah.
can't tell.
We're chilling.
Nice. Anything else? What's new? What's new and exciting?
Not much.
Just approaching. Got a month till you're off for 2 weeks. That'll be nice.
Approaching.
No big plans. You're going to work a lot, probably.
I gotta work a lot this week, which sucks given it's full gear weekend.
It is full gear weekend. That card is shaping up really nicely. I mean, we're going to preview it on this.
I think it's shaped up. Like the last thing I saw was the Takeshita match being added.
Yes, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah, I wrote above my preview that I thought that and maybe an Okada match was an auto mission.
Yes.
So at least they remedied that.
Mariah May's an auto mission too.
But I think it's because they have the segment with her on the show.
Okay.
And it's going to be Storm. So
I think the return of Storm, right?
I think that's there in lieu of a title match.
Sorry, we're already into wrestling stuff, but there's timestamps. Sorry, the non-wrestling content was pretty minimal this week for anyone that listens to it. But does she come back as the same?
Probably.
You think so?
I'm not that hopeful. I'm not that optimistic.
And I don't think that they think they've gotten everything out of that.
I also think it's too popular with everyone else that's not me.
True, and me as well.
So
yeah, we're similar.
Unfortunately, yeah, I don't see that happening too much. But yeah, and that will probably be an omission later because we don't really do predictions for the segments. Like,
no, we don't.
Otherwise, we would have predicted Lashley coming out last time when they had Swerve segment. But honestly, I feel like predicting segments is just kind of an odd. I don't know. It feels like an odd move.
Sorry, I'm having trouble locating my headphones. The ones I want, but I'll get them in a second. I don't know. Do you want to discuss anything else, or can we get into things?
It doesn't seem like we have anything else.
No, we really don't. It's once every 6 weeks, we have a pretty interesting something happen, and then the rest of the time, it's pretty standard stuff. Yeah. But anyways, we'll get into what most people I think are here for, and that's to talk about wrestling. It's our first segment every week. It's wrestling news and rumors. I found my headphones. I'm ready to go. I felt really uncomfortable recording without the headphones on. That's really strange because it kind of mutes your own voice too.
Yeah.
So I'm not used to hearing me at full volume in here. I didn't love it. I'm not going to lie. Ratings this week. NXT averaged 672,000 viewers, up 6.5%. 0.19 in the key demographic, up 18.8%. Highest key demo rating since October 8th. And they beat Dynamite this week as they averaged 640,000 viewers, down 3.9%, and a 0.20, down 9.1. Second highest audience total for the show since October 2nd. So I guess similar-ish numbers between the two this week. What you got?
Main one was that Vince and Linda McMahon have reportedly been separated.
Oh,
I really
thought those kids were gonna make it.
I kind of thought they were kind of like that anyways, right? Like, wasn't it kind of an unofficial, like...
I think for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. Right.
That, yes. What show was it where they say all intensive purposes? And it's a big debate. Or is it a movie, maybe? It
seems like an Office thing, but I don't know.
No, it's Superstore. Somebody says
intent and purposes.
and says intensive purposes, and they're like, I think you mean intense. Probably Jonah. Sounds like Jonah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
But
yeah,
it's not surprising in the midst of.
I kind of hope they're both unhappy. Is that mean?
Linda going political and then Vince being the face of public scrutiny.
The face of public
scrutiny. Subject of public scrutiny.
I think either one of those is fine. I just
That's
like
fair.
it.
That's fair.
He is so much of it that he is the face of it, basically.
That's fair.
I think, yeah. So, yeah, hope they're both kind of unhappy. If that makes me mean. I'm being, like, wishing unhappiness on senior citizens, but I do. So, anyways.
They're only senior on technicality.
Right. They're both being implicated in a current lawsuit for doing really bad stuff, so.
Well, didn't the Ring Boy thing come back up, too, after the doc?
I mean, it seems like allegedly Vince did a lot of horrible stuff, and I think it's not out of the realm of possibility that Linda was aware of a lot of it. Just over the decades, many different things.
She got that money, though.
Well, yeah, for sure. And I guess that's the bottom line for them. But anyways, did you see who signed a surprising one to me with the ID program?
Kylie Ray.
Okay, so
had that.
Developmental. So I did a little research. How old is Kylie Ray for this developmental deal?
35.
I think you're closer than you think. 32.
Damn.
And
I am so sorry.
What year did she start wrestling?
2012.
2016.
Damn it.
So 8 years wrestling and 32 years old. And she's really good.
She's good. I'm just
you can find me on the record as saying
she was solid on the MLP shows.
I wonder why ID though, and not like straight to NXT. We signed you.
Maybe because they're not sure if they fully want her. So this is like, oh wait, like I said, keep her on the radar. But if they end up changing their minds, it's like they never actually fully invested in her. You know what I mean? I feel like that could apply to a lot of people. It's like these people who show promise that they want to get, so they're kind of keeping them on a loose leash. But then it's like if they don't want them and they don't turn out to like be developing at the pace they projected, then it's like you can just kind of cut them loose without any like real
and she
consequence.
has a history of needing time off, and I'm not trying to say it wasn't legitimate or anything, but if they think,
well, even if it's injury prone, that's an issue.
Same,
like Samoa
that's
Joe,
the same thing.
Tegan Knox, like stuff like that, right?
I think that's the same thing.
So yeah, it's
you need time away from their grind for whatever reason. If that happens too frequently, they're probably a little like skeptical, you know. Yeah, sorry, I stole that one from you. Nice. What do you got? See if you steal one from me.
The most interesting one to me might be the WWE's reportedly set to relax on the brand split between now and WrestleMania.
Because it's so strict?
Right. Well, I feel like it hasn't been recently, mainly because of the Bloodline stuff.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I've seen 4 or 5 whatever SmackDown guys every week on Raw.
Figure 4 Weekly says a lot of all hands on deck shows like Saturday Night's Main Event and the move to Netflix, obviously.
Yep.
Apparently Roman Reigns is going to be heavily on Raw in the run-up to Mania.
Yes.
Doesn't surprise me in the midst of the Bloodline floating around, but like it's also just disappointing because the whole point of the brand split is that like
their brands are split.
The brands are split, but like that they have different, like the shows have identities because there's different things on there, and it also allows the whole thing is that it allows more opportunity for talent because then otherwise now you're gonna have Cody and the Bloodline and Gunther on both shows.
Roman's known for really really short segments and stuff, right? So don't worry.
So
they're only like
it just bothers me because like how many times can they go back on this? Like,
all the time.
Remember the wild card rule and how Vince was like, oh, only 3 people we can go, 5 people we can, 7 people we can go on other shows,
and then they would burn through that in 2 weeks.
And that was also the period when they hated having wrestling during commercials, so they did like constant 2 or 3 falls matches, which still doesn't make sense to me. But that was such an odd
It's a funny little quirk of an era. Not an era. That's too big of a word.
The end of the 2010s were like kind of batshit crazy when you look at it.
Yeah.
There's also like on SmackDown the dog food feud.
Oh my god. That was
Shorty,
Roman and who? Corbin, right?
Shorty G.
Yes.
Shane McMahon in general.
Shorty G was tough.
Shorty G's brutal. I just saw something too. Was one of the Saudi matches was Team Hogan versus Team Flair.
Ew.
And that reminded me of Shorty G.
Yeah, because they are always asking for the big nostalgia stars, right?
Well, yeah, one of my favorite things of Saudi being Saudi was in the very first Saudi show. Remember the 50-man Rumble, the Greatest Royal Rumble?
The greatest.
The Prince wanted Yokozuna.
Correct.
But he was dead. So they brought in Hiroki Sumi. That is honestly probably my favorite Saudi story. It makes me giggle every time.
What do we have to pay you to reanimate Yokozuna?
Yeah. So they bring in this dude.
We can fund the technology, all the R&D. What is it going to take? We have that much money.
And also, that match was funny enough. The first appearance of Dabakato.
Oh boy.
AKA or FK Baba Tunde.
Hall of Famer.
Also, remember Dan Matha?
Yes. I can't picture him. I remember the name though.
You actually?
I do. I remember the name 100%.
Yeah. The only thing I ever remember him doing was that match.
I am Google imaging him.
Yeah, he's like
search engine imaging him because no one pays us anything, right? You can guess which search engine I'm using.
But like
no free. Oh yeah, he is super generic.
He looks like a proto Giovanni Vinci or something like.
He looks like a lot of people on the indies.
But yeah, that's like honestly, we should find a way to do some sort of pod like just revisiting that time of the main roster.
Yeah.
Because it's just the funny thing is that it's so horrible. But honestly, I was oblivious to a lot of it because that was what I was.
You'd be looking at it through new eyes for sure. 100%. And that would be funny.
Like honestly,
dude, I go back and watch 99 WCW.
I can guarantee 100%.
It's terrible.
I did not bat an eye at the dog food. I guarantee. I just
and now you'll be like, oh my god, that's so bad. And I feel so bad for Roman Reigns. Like,
yeah.
What are they doing?
Or Moxley getting a needle in his ass.
Right.
And wearing a gas mask.
The gas mask era of Mox was tough too.
That was bad. And then I think the other week we mentioned Lashley pointing at his butt repeatedly. There's that.
Yes.
Oh, Lashley and Lana.
That to me is like
that was awesome.
Vince is past
Lashley's sisters too.
Doing things well.
Max Caster was there.
Yeah, that's right.
Or Sami Zayn did the electric chair that 1 week.
For 1 week, right?
For 1 week. It was like a 1 week thing, and then because it was supposed to be like this cool like shoot thing, and he mentioned AEW, cool. And it was like, and it sucked.
It was really bad.
I don't even remember why it sucked, but I just remember that it sucked.
It did.
Anyway, this is
us talking about news, current stuff.
And we're just going back to like the end of the last decade.
If you've listened before, you know.
Again, I would like to. Maybe I'll work on that, trying to format some sort of.
Yeah.
Because that'd be fun.
If you're a new listener, I'd love to tell you that doesn't happen often, but.
I will apologize in advance for my next digression or 5.
Yep. Whose turn is it? Me or you?
You.
So.
See, we don't even know.
There's some reports on plans for Braun Breaker. Did you hear this? Mm-hmm. Or like what he is, sort of like a tweener. Is the talk, right? So the plan,
I kind of find it interesting that like they're actively planning that.
The details said in my thing that I read that in the ring he's kind of like heelish, right, with his offense and the way he behaves, but as a promo he's going to lean more babyface because the crowd loves the dog barking, right? So they want to make sure that they're not dog barking a heel because
I guess that makes sense. Honestly, yeah. I'd rather them book him as a monster heel because I think that's just cooler. But I do kind of find this
can be cool.
I do find this approach interesting, at least
if they do it right. A tweener can be awesome.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. I prefer him as a monster heel, but it's an interesting approach. So yes. I'm kind of interested to see. I had seen his promo this week. It was pretty good. He was just ripping in a Ludwig Kaiser.
Yes,
he did this really pretty spot on impression of him, like when he does the introduction for Gunther. It reminded me a lot of when The Rock would imitate people. So yes. And which like is a compliment. Yep. So I think I thought it was quite the promo. I liked it.
It's funny because when he first came into NXT,
I hated him.
We were just like, okay, here we go. He looks impressive, obviously, and he's athletic. But
I was resistant to him for a while,
but he is, and he gets better in every facet. I'm not saying he's amazing. He's not Sami Zayn on the mic or anything, but. I
like this promo this week.
Good.
I thought it was quite good.
For the amount he's been doing it, right? He's pretty awesome.
I've definitely done a 180 on him.
Yep.
For sure.
He's going to be a lengthy run there, probably every belt at some point.
How old is he?
How old is Braun Breaker?
27.
He
is fine.
I moved my coffee over here after like 100 episodes. I keep reaching like this. If you're watching video, this is me reaching for a coffee that's not there anymore because I haven't retrained
Braun
myself.
Breaker is 27. He's doing fine.
Okay, I was going to say 25.
He is totally fine.
Yeah.
And he'll be fine for another like at least decade, even more.
Yep.
Right.
In this business, 27 is super young.
Yeah. The network's officially shutting down on January 1st.
I just told your mom on the ride home
to Netflix.
From dinner. I was like, January 6th, you can cancel.
January 6th.
Or January 1st, I guess, right?
Even like the day after, just to make sure.
Just like you can cancel WWE Network.
Yeah, once we see like, I'm just kind of curious to see how everything's on there. You know what I mean? Because I'm hoping all the on-demand stuff is there because that's where my interest is.
I didn't put it in my news, but I was hearing it somewhere else. The phrasing of what they're going to roll out on Netflix has some people worried because there's room to interpret it as, I forget what the actual wording was, but some fear that not everything's going to be there.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like
so that's
the
why
whole
I'm saying
library.
like wait and see kind
Now,
of.
I don't know how things work, and I'm not claiming I do. Would it take a long time to add these things in?
I don't think so.
Is it just push a button and they're all? You have to upload them, right?
Did they not move it to Peacock pretty easily?
I don't remember. Was everything there right away? I don't think it was.
I don't know, but I think it got there pretty easily from what I know. I'm just concerned with even though it's been a minute, Black and Gold NXT. I just want that and access.
They better not be doing something like here's whatever, and then now if you keep that for the same price, or another $3 and you get everything.
Or a thing with Crave or
just gave
Prime
them an idea.
Is
tiers.
Not even tiers, but like your subscription doesn't really get you everything. Like you need subscription to something else on Crave to get certain things, or like when I was trying to watch What's Eating Gilbert Grape,
go watch it.
You need like a trial or a subscription to the Hollywood Suite, which is another thing on Prime. So it's like,
of course.
And so Momo got a trial at least on that, so I could
open your wallet.
It. But apparently she says on Paramount, which they got, so I need her Paramount login.
Not that you would ever password and login share on any platform, because that is probably against their terms of service.
I actually pay for my own.
Exactly.
Out of pocket.
Of course.
Yep.
Everyone in our house does.
That is how I do.
And because I am so safe and risk averse, the cat, I signed her up just in case, because I don't want to get in trouble.
And I also didn't watch. Because I didn't have a subscription to Gilbert Grape the first time. I definitely rented it. I didn't watch it on a site on my phone.
Wouldn't even know how.
I don't
to go about such things.
I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Not even sure what you mean.
I'm just I'm like, yeah, I didn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Another coffee reach. Damn it.
You're up next too.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
I thought Breaker was a tweener.
Oh, is that where we went? Because I know, because I was talking about the Netflix thing. That's right. I'm right.
Good Canadian boy, Josh Alexander, no longer taking independent dates. And apparently he just had a banger of a match up here and shouted out our boy, Von Vertigo, just because we've seen him.
Was that the trio with them in Forza, right?
Yeah, he spoke really highly of both of them. And you in particular, and me as well, but like we've seen Vertigo two, 3 times.
A few times, yeah, at least a handful.
And we're always impressed. Like he's not big, but he's really good.
I think he's pretty
and
good.
He's got
definitely one of the best we have around here.
For an indie guy, his charisma is good, right?
Yeah, and he I know he does Europe tours. Like I think I've seen him go on Progress.
He had some belt when we saw him.
Yeah,
that wasn't from the indie company.
He had like Progress. Like he goes to some decent spots.
Yeah,
so
he's cool.
He's got some decent notoriety. Like I would be happy to see him end up in like TNA, because I feel like that's a good spot for him. Like X Division, I could see him doing.
Yeah.
Like because AEW or something, I think he's not big enough for them. But I would, cause considering Sinner and Saint made it there and Jody Threat made it there.
True.
I think clearly there's some sort of connection.
Yeah.
And I think he'd be perfect for TNA, 'cause I think he's definitely like got enough to go off something. He could develop more of a gimmick there and keep going, right?
And he can obviously already work in Canada with no problems, because they do stuff up here a lot.
Could even have him teaming with Forza, because I know they've been a tag team before. I think they were the first tag champs for the Destiny promotion that's around here.
Yeah. No, he's cool.
Yeah.
And so Alexander's contract with TNA goes through February, and then he's spinning. I don't know, maybe he's being truthful, that he's retiring from the indies. So I don't know if that, but to me it sounds like, which one's the company that doesn't let people work indies anymore, right? AEW doesn't do that for, like, they can work other things. Most
literally
of them,
just watch Takeshita
all over the place. And TNA certainly lets people go do things everywhere.
Well, yeah. Also see Alexander on the same show.
And so WWE does with TNA, but that's not indie. So
yeah, and like they only loan out like a couple people to Noah here and there, like these one-off instances. But
seems to be he's angling to be with WWE, but I guess we won't know.
Which will kind of, that's the tricky thing with these promotional partnerships. But I guess we've kind of seen that with AEW too, because I mean, how many people have been poached from New Japan in the last couple years?
Question:
right?
If the North reassemble in NXT, would you watch NXT?
Probably.
Yeah, I knew it, and I think that's
the North versus Fraxian.
Imagine. Okay, hold on. Long-term booking right now. Their booking page super poorly, we both agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so maybe somebody needs to show up that from his past to like smack him back into being the way he's supposed to be.
And Alexander's a beast, so that makes sense.
And then those two just run roughshod on
and
this.
then you call him up. Let's do North Machine Guns again.
And there's all this focus on the tag division, and Ava wants the tag division. So they come and just smash.
You could even have Alexander get his foot in the door whenever you want.
Yeah.
Although it does suck because that leaves Sinner and Satan in the dust a bit, but they can just be a tag team.
So I just booked it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. If I would love that, man.
If I'm Triple H, I'm buying the rights to the North theme.
Yeah.
Because it's fantastic.
And it was just that, like, they can both wrestle, and Paige just runs his mouth, and he has this walking weapon with him, so it emboldens him to just do what he does best.
And then he became Karate Man.
And then he became Karate Man.
They were so good, though. I missed
They
that.
were. Sorry, I think it's you now.
Last one I had is I hate it. WWE's interested in booking Jake Paul on PLEs next year.
Of course.
No.
I know, but
he's worse than the other one.
Of course, but there's money.
Also, to any of you chuckleheads who watched that boxing match,
I did not.
I knew I wasn't gonna watch that. I did just now.
There was a chance I would have watched it, but it wasn't like I had to make sure.
Boxing doesn't interest me. Mike Tyson doesn't interest me. Jake Paul doesn't interest me.
That was more sports entertainment than a lot of sports entertainment.
You can't convince me Mike Tyson wasn't paid to take a fall.
Another coffee reach. I just need to finish my coffee or put it on that side.
He's old, so I don't think his legacy means as much, and he got like 20 mil from that, so you can't tell me he wasn't paid to take a fall. Plus, there's literally this one part early on where they kind of lock up kind of wrestling style against the ropes, and like that's textbook wrestling 101. That's where you're like calling a spot.
Yeah.
So no, you can't tell me that they weren't doing that. And there's because I've seen some videos of Tyson training, and it's pretty like legit still. So either he just like it's not the same as training, or again he was paid to take a fall. Because I don't think he would like I saw someone talk about how many
58.
punches he threw compared to Jake Paul, and like it's just like there's no way, you know what
He's
I mean?
58 and came off a major health problem where he lost a bunch of weight and stuff. So
still, I don't think
those training videos are little clips. I don't think his stamina is at all.
Oh, for sure, but
doable.
Still, it's just not. I don't know.
I don't even like giving those guys oxygen on. They're both.
But
like people I know. Everyone was rooting for Mike Tyson. Have we forgotten about Mike Tyson and his?
No, but I think
like
it's
people. If you're too young, you can Google Mike Tyson legal trouble and see what comes up.
That speaks to A, the stuff pre-internet kind of getting swept under, and B, just the clout of the Pauls, because
it's his hateability.
They are detestable
too. Like people want to see Mike Tyson destroy him, but it wasn't going to happen.
It was never going to happen. No. And like I hate Logan Paul, but he's good at it. I don't want Jake Paul. I don't need more of them. I don't want them as tag champs.
I think it was someone at work that conversation came up because of the talk of Jake Paul, and I had to be like, I think they were like, "Oh, you watch the Brothers in Wrestling or whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah, is he any good?" And I'm like,
that's what I always tell people. I hate him, but he's pretty good.
He's for the amount he's been doing it, he's excellent, and he's a really, really good athlete. And I don't like saying it, but
I don't like him, but he is quite talented.
Gotta be honest.
Yeah.
My last one, and I only put it in here because I've wondered this myself. During a recent interview, did you see what Bailey said about her heel turn?
Oh, okay. I was waiting for you to specify which one.
Sorry, though she said in general. Guess what she said, man? Just in general about this, she feels that she lost a genuine connection with the fans, and I think the implication being she hasn't been able to get it. Like I don't disagree because I
agree. Her heel run was awesome.
Oh my, her baby face though. That's what she's saying. Is now that she had that rare connection as a baby face, and the turn was cool, and she did some cool heel work. But she's just kind of like, what was her quote? I wonder if I never would have done that, where I would be now, or if I would be better off or worse off. Because I don't think she can recapture.
Her heel run was so good, though.
It was.
But I don't feel like she has a character right now.
But baby faces are so hard to find, and she was like all time. You know what I mean?
The hugger gimmick was kind of dumb, but at the same time, it worked.
In NXT, when she started doing it, but it made sense because she was like this starstruck, right? Anytime they would have any sort of decent talent there, she'd be fawning all over them and whatever.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. She just doesn't really have a character
right now. She's super bland.
Yeah, like
there's no doubt.
Her title run this year was bleh.
I agree. I almost forgot about it, to be honest. That's how good it was.
I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah. That was it for me. You're done too, right? We'll go into our most in-depth review of the week. It's taking a look at this past Wednesday episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, go ahead. We're rolling.
So we did get to see a bit of that November Rain video in the intro.
We did. I heard the whole thing's really good, but I haven't found it. I haven't gone and looked for it.
I'm sure I could find it pretty.
So I think it is the full thing, and apparently it was did a really good job of, I think, summarizing everything leading up to Full Gear. Maybe.
I mean, if you have 9 minutes,
I got 9 minutes.
I would hope they have done a good job.
Yeah, true.
I would hope in that time you could summarize the card twice over, even.
Yeah.
But we kick off with the All-Star 8-man tag, which is Ospreay, Ricochet, Mark Davison, Powerhouse, Hobbs versus the Don Callis, which is the Murder Machines, Mr. Fletcher, and Real Take Soup.
An All-Star 7-man match in Davis. Does that mean?
A little bit.
Powerhouse Hobbs. Love him.
I was going to say that.
Love him.
Lance Archer.
Whoa, it's falling apart. Yeah.
Brian Cage. So really, it's just the 4 who are
All-Star plus 4. It's not bad.
Half star.
Yeah, right.
Half of them are stars.
It could be infinite stars. Meltzer, you dummy.
That's like
a match infinite. My star system is infinite.
Like on IMDb when they write out something out of 10, it's like, well, it could be infinite numbers. It could go to infinity.
And so 10 is terrible.
10 out of 10 is horrible. Actually, 10 out of 10 is good, but like 10 out of 10 out of infinity is horrible.
Right. That's the point. Nothing. I think it renders the whole thing meaningless if you say that.
Because like the whole point of infinity is that like you can never reach it.
Right. Well, so, you just should have a.
In theory, then literally every rating has the potential to be horrible.
Correct.
Because the whole point of infinity is that.
That's the way to say it. All numbers
never reach it. So
correct.
Technically, every number is horrible.
Eventually,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because not even eventually, because there's no cap, every number is horrible. Because I can just keep thinking. I could think of infinite numbers that are better. Literally infinite.
That's what I'm saying. His whole system is meaningless.
Like, you could give me the greatest wrestling match ever. Like, for example, Okada Omega, the Tuesday Falls match. It's for like 7 stars. Like, I don't remember if it was or not.
Infinity?
It's the highest rated match. It still sucks ass.
Even if you were to say it's 7.5 out of 5. Like, wow, that's amazing. But no, it's 7.5
out of 5. That's out of infinity.
Yeah.
So it's like double. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Do those cancel out to make it make sense?
I thought it was such a stupid thing to say. It really. I'll bring it up a lot.
Makes me giggle. The more I think about it.
Yes.
Hold on. I'm gonna just take a sip real quick.
Go ahead. I'm onto water now, which is still on the same side, so I won't be like pump faking every 5 minutes.
Mine's just always there because that's where I got the coaster. So I'm just
try and keep things out of camera view, you know.
Well, I'm good.
Want to block all this beauty,
right? Brawl breaks out on the stage. Ospreay ripped off Fletcher's entrance chaps when they were rolling. That was kind of funny. Takes me back to Angel
entrance chaps. That's funny.
Takes me back to Angel Garza.
Yes.
Back in the good old days.
Yes.
I enjoyed him.
He was awesome
in the latter days of the cruiserweight division.
Yeah, he was fun.
Good times. Back by dropping a senton to Takeshita from Davis. Then Takeshita rolls out and Ricochet hit a pretty clean spaceman punch, like the Fosbury flop kind of thing. Like,
it was good.
It was pretty nice. Archer trapped Hobbs' injured knee between like the steps and the ring post, and then Cage was kind of cool. He sent Ospreay in the stairs, which like
it did look good.
Knee. So I just thought it was kind of a cool kill 2 birds 1 stone type thing.
Yeah, because Hobbs was then gone for a good chunk.
He got assisted to the back, which usually I don't like, but I feel like it kind of worked, and I'll talk about that after.
With 8 guys, if someone's gone for a little bit,
that too,
and you do it well, it's fine.
And if it's one of the ones I care less about,
right? What is one of these all-stars?
Archer catches Ricochet out of midair and chokes him over the ropes on Ospreay and Davis. That was kind of cool.
I thought this stretch he looked good here.
Yeah. Ospreay hot tag. Davis and Ospreay hit some Aussie open offense to cash stuff for 2. It was like the shoulder lift into the cutter. Or no, it was like the fireman's carry into the kick and then the shoulder lift cut or something. I don't know.
And then they almost went for the finisher.
One of them is called the Aussie Arrow. I don't remember which one. That also used to be Fletcher's nickname, I think. But yeah, then they went for the Coriolis, which is the finisher.
Right.
I know Aussie Arrow was something, though.
It was.
It was one of the moves. I don't remember which one.
Me either.
I remember always struggling to call the moves because Aussie Open were just elite. boot German suplex to Ospreay from Archer and Cage. That was just kind of simple.
I liked
cool.
it. That's what we said. Like, that is a really effective looking, simple thing.
I liked it. Archer and Cage launch Ospreay right into a Blue Thunder Bomb from Takeshita, which got near fall. I thought that was awesome. Hobbs limps back to the ring and intercepts Fletcher trying to take him out. Then Ospreay's able to make the hot tag out to Hobbs. A heavy enziguri and a gut wrench power driver from Davis to Takeshita, which I thought was really cool for near fall. But Fletcher broke the pin, so good stuff from Davis there.
Yep.
Just a fantastic exchange between Fletcher and Ospreay. Just absolutely
They just
crazy.
gave us a couple little...
But they were just like going a million miles an hour out of infinity.
If that... so really slowly?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That could be a new thing I introduced.
It will be.
But they were just like going like a million miles a minute.
And the thing is, they know each other so well, so somehow he's still dodging that and missing that. You know what I mean? It was very...
There were a couple times where I think it was the hook around kick from Ospreay just absolutely smacked him in the face. It was crazy.
It was, if they can do that for like 20 minutes, then that's going to be nuts.
A 25-minute match.
This show that show has some chance to have some real bangers.
Yeah. The finish comes and Ospreay inadvertently hits Davis with the hidden blade. Then Fletcher takes him out, and Takeshita hits a Wagamama on Davis to pick up the win. My boy.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
Man, I thought this was awesome.
I loved it.
To me, it harkens back to
we always say
I would say like the golden era when it was like those trios
2020,
matches,
2021, yeah,
or multi-man.
I think like the biggest compliment I'll give is that it lived up to my expectations. Like, just an excellent talent pool here.
And I think I know people are going to be critical if they don't like AEW, but I don't know.
Well,
man,
I told you about that one review. That was just...
hated everything about it, to the point where you're wondering if it's satire.
It honestly felt like satire. I won't name drop them. I found it.
But I thought Archer had a nice stretch, and he and Cage had a nice stretch together as a tag team.
I think that's good to establish them.
Hobbs returning and looking really strong, right? I thought was smart too. And then, like you said, the taste of Fletcher and Ospreay was just like... And I don't love when they touch before pay-per-views a lot, but like...
It just works.
This was like a little appetizer, right? Yeah. That was great. And Davis looked like a hoss, man.
I thought Davis looked good too.
He
for
did.
His first match back.
Especially, he's been gone a long time, right?
Sure.
I think. So
well over a year.
I thought it was awesome, the crowd energy. And that's why I like those matches. Part of it is they set the tone with the crowd. They're super into it right away, and that can't be a bad thing. Absolutely. I thought this was awesome.
Yeah, I thought this was fantastic. They did not disappoint me. It served as a good preview of sorts, too. A little bit for Takeshita and Ricochet whenever they have their matches. Wet Rope, obviously, since then, it's been confirmed, so that's great.
Yes.
But more so for Fletcher and Ospreay, because their exchanges were just fantastic. Like, super fast-paced and executed perfectly. Their chemistry is, like, immediately clear to me. On the mic last week, it was there, and just in the ring, based on the glimpses here, the chemistry is just incredibly evident. On paper, their match excited me, but this just amped it up, because I think they're poised to deliver a match of the year contender late.
And
late into the season.
I try and slow burn this feud and make it go into the new year a little bit.
That's fine. I could easily take a trilogy for them.
Because the history, and because obviously selfishly the way they're going to work together.
And I think the motivation's been set up so well, so I think going longer with this is even better. And with the story I've been enjoying, there's so much potential for this match. It's incredible. And like you said, it was the perfect amount of just awesome, but leaving us wanting more.
I am looking forward to the main event. Like, there's several matches ahead of that for me.
I would put the main event at like maybe third at least.
I guess once we review it, I'll know for sure.
I think it's definitely goes Fletcher, Ospreay, Hangman, Switchblade main event. Because the main event I am excited for. Don't get me wrong.
Ricochet, Takeshita.
Oh, right. Okay, so then it is fourth because I forgot that.
Yeah.
Honestly, as much as I love Takeshita, I might have to put Hangman and Switchblade above that just because we already have that to go off of.
Yeah.
So I'd go Fletcher, Ospreay, to Hangman, Switchblade, Takeshita, Ricochet, then the main event. The main event sounds great. Don't get me wrong. I love them, and they had a great match last year. Couple ones.
Those first three, I'm super.
It's just the other three are too tantalizing. You know, it's just come on. And Davis looks strong, like you said, coming back from injury. And it was odd to see him without Fletcher, but I thought he held his own. I'm glad they gave him some spotlight.
Yep.
The Aussie Open moves did with Ospreay were nice. And again, shows Aussie Open needs to come back. And he didn't. He kind of came to blows Fletcher finally here, but again, they haven't a lot, so it's leaving the door open for me. I thought it was odd to take out Hobbs, but I thought he looked like a beast coming in on a hot tag flurry, so I thought it made him look better. The Murder Machine's got some love too, and I'd love to see them versus Private Party, because that would just be stupid fun. Like, they would chuck them about the joint.
I thought everybody got a chance to shine.
Everyone played their roles here greatly, even if some of them had more spotlight than others. And my boy Takeshita got the win. I'm super happy with that. And need Davis's face off. I loved it from top to bottom. This was the kind of opener I enjoyed. It was just like no complaints there.
Who would have guessed that Davis took the pin?
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
It
But
does.
I do kind of like because it plays into the story with Ospreay and Fletcher, because Ospreay kind of factored in there, right, with the inadvertent hidden blade. So
super good start to the show.
Yeah. Then we get Death Riders promo. Moxley talks about Orange Cassidy and says he's a snake lurking in the darkest corners of the battlefield, but his objective on Saturday remains the same. Cassidy might be a great guy, but he doesn't care what kind of person he is. When the bell rings, Cassidy is a threat to his people and he will destroy him. Cassidy might make it to Full Gear with his mind intact, but his and Darby Allin's bodies are still up for grabs. Claudio Castagnoli speaks in the review I borrowed from, says German.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he said tonight he's going to end him. Very true words.
Foreshadowing.
Right a little bit. Mox is great. I enjoy his choice of words and the way he speaks about this. And I liked how he's kind of provoked Cassidy to be different, to challenge him. But honestly, Claudio was a highlight here. I thought letting him speak whatever language he's comfortable with here, which I guess is supposed to be German, was a great choice. He sounded angry and confident. It's like when Takeshita speaks Japanese. I don't know what he's saying, but I'm buying it, you know?
And Julia got to speak Japanese in a pretty lengthy little bit this week too.
And so I thought it was great for him. Like, Claudio's been benefiting from this tenfold. Shafir didn't take her eyes off of Yuta, which was interesting. And Pac must be having travel issues because he is MIA.
Until.
Right. That comment aged well.
Yeah, so I think it's the right term is the blocking of this scene, right? So obviously Yuta's in his gear and stuff because he has a match, and they could say he's sitting to let him rest, but it also puts them kind of like
literally above him
and still like somewhat intimidating. And then Shafir is just staring him down the whole time. So even just like looking at it as it was happening, I thought that was really cool.
I enjoy the way the group works, and it was kind of always something we liked about Blackpool was that they operate differently from a usual faction. Like, they would just kind of go off and do their own things, but then come back together. They'd be kind of heel, kind of face, bullies, and like they could kind of fit whatever you needed, and they would just the way they would be willing to fight each other, and even like they would beat Yuta in training, right? Like, so I always like that they've kind of always had their own way about them.
And Yuta's told us he doesn't want to be in the group necessarily, right? But he has to be. So, and I agree.
He feels it's the right way to go.
This group, and it's going to sound weird because people have always loved Claudio, but he's elevated in this for me.
Well, because he's always been fantastic in the ring, but his character strength was never something to be praised.
But it's even more, he was basically doing a similar thing with Blackpool, but I somehow believe it more right now.
It's just like, I think there's more layers to it now.
Yeah.
And I think it's just more of a spotlight on him. And even, which is weird because he was literally ROH world champion twice in Blackpool, but I think it's just something about it now. It's
agree.
It's more in depth, and I enjoy that. It's more layered, it's more complex, and it's more interesting.
The group is super cool. My only thing is, like, I feel like their stated goals are too big, too fast. I don't know. Because I just feel like it's a lot of suspension of disbelief to be like, this group's stated objective is to absolutely destroy the company or whatever, and only 5 guys really care. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing. It's just there in the back of my mind, right? Like, why does nobody really care?
Well, because a lot of them can't do crap about it. Even the people who are trying to do something,
but they don't. That's not expressed, though, right? We're just left to.
I mean, it was kind of shown when Blackpool kept just holding the ring and beating the crap out of people when they tried to get in.
I guess
that was my favorite part, was when they would just keep people.
But even so, wouldn't like people be talking about it in other
I would like to see more of that. Kind of like when we were like Top Flight and Dark Order were getting fired up. I would like to see more of that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something for them to improve on for sure.
But the group is super cool. I don't want to complain too much. They're all doing a good job.
We got a quick Darby Allin promo after. He says he didn't forget Claudio put the chair around Danielson's neck. I mean, there's also the bag, but sure, focus on that. And every Death Rider will have their day. Today is Claudio's day. I think not, sir.
I do have to disagree.
I didn't pay attention to a lot of this, but it was solid. Like,
it was really short. And I just note that he's really comfortable now, as opposed to when he first came in. I
Renee,
probably say that every time now.
Yeah, but. Renee interviews the Hurt Syndicate as they arrive. MVP says Lashley's going to be in action tonight prior to Full Gear. Then Swerve runs in with the chain and decks Lashley before running off. So
it's gimmick infringement on NXT.
Oh, parking lot?
Yeah. Felt like, right? Will Wash? No, that's not a Will Washington thing.
Washington.
That's not his fault.
I think this is going to be a squash, obviously. I get we want to hype up Lashes, but honestly, since it's just the week before, I wish we had waited till Full Gear, because like, I don't see the point here.
We know who Lashley is.
Yeah.
This isn't a guy that we're not familiar with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And remember, my note says Excalibur did not see the chain.
Yeah, he's like, I think that was a chain in his hand. I'm like, yeah, it was a chain, dude.
Very, very obvious. Yeah.
Then we hear from Adam Cole. Yay.
More reminder. And my thing is, stop pulling more people into this. Right? Like, leave people alone. Don't, because I don't care about this. I'm giving my thoughts before you say it.
He says MJF did everything in his power to make sure they didn't fight, and he succeeded, but Roddy also succeeded in getting the full gear, and he'll get his hands on MJF, and they had the same goal, yada yada. Kyle O'Reilly enters the ring and talks about he and Cole had a match wherever they were in Pennsylvania, Reading. He says how well he knows Cole, but this crusade against MJF has to end before somebody gets hurt. He brings up Cole's injuries. He says MJF's always 3 steps ahead. He doesn't want to see Cole play with fire and get burnt.
He's very orange.
Yeah. Maybe he got
very
burnt.
Orange.
Maybe someone's like, oh, MJF, it's a Punk reference because, his theme was this fire burns.
Fire burns, that's right.
O'Reilly says Cole's a good friend who doesn't want to see his friends get hurt. When last year he turned on his friend and hurt him deliberately.
Hey. We're not supposed to remember things.
Again. Like, come on. O'Reilly says MJF's more of an evil bastard than the devil. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
Sure. I just don't care.
I'll say what I did like was that he had a point with Cole getting his friends going after MJF is unnecessary and that this should end. I agree with both those points because... I don't want to deal with this anymore. Because, I agree this should end, and I don't want the kingdom here.
It's like, I like the people involved, but...
Also, Kyle seems so sure that MJF's got something up his sleeve that it feels like a Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
Well, he was so sure that... I mean, granted, it's MJF, so I feel like you could say that and have it not happen, but I don't know. It just seemed, so odd to me. So I feel like maybe OGK turn. We get rid of them.
It was so intentionally... Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was the promo after the Undisputed Era formed with the Bucks. The Undisputed Elite, remember, it was them, Fish, and the Bucks. Not Roddy, because he wasn't there yet. But, and then I remember the one promo, they said Undisputed Elite, 6 times in a backstage segment. I was like, what's the group called?
Yeah.
So, it felt like that kind of thing for me. But, I kind of like this because we didn't really have to deal with the miscast dynamic we've been getting. Kyle O'Reilly made sense and it seemed like a bit of foreshadowing to me.
That's a very fair point.
MJF had a plan to deal with Cole, and so surely I think he must have one to deal with Roddy. This coupled with the fact Kyle keeps mentioning a potential turn, or not a potential turn, but MJF having a plan makes me think something's happening. My money and my hope is on Taven and Bennett turning on Roddy and Cole. Kyle reforms Undisputed Era with them. And whether Taven and Bennett join MJF or not, I don't care. I'm pitching this because I want it to end, and it seems like to me, I just want Kingdom gone.
Yeah.
From the people I really care about.
It's always how I felt.
If Davis also turns on Ospreay, it's a little too much for one show, but as long as Will Washington does his job, then it's fine.
He always does. I guess you're right that it is easier to forget about the MJF stuff when it's O'Reilly there and you're like, oh yeah, these guys make sense interacting.
I mean, I still just pointed out that Cole is not a good
but that's still a minor compared to...
So like I said, it's a lot better than...
That's normal wrestling, hey, don't remember this.
Yeah, so this felt a little better at least, and I thought Kyle was solid for someone who's not known for promos.
Yeah, he's fine.
Then we get a Cassidy promo. He said he's going to make an example of Yuta tonight and show Mox what he's going to do at Full Gear. The conglomeration come in and Briscoe says they have his back. Cassidy says he wants nobody else to get hurt. Briscoe continues to kind of say the same thing, but Cassidy yells at him saying please, and he says they don't have to understand, but he asks them to stay away and says tells Mox to do what he's going to do because Mox is going to need all the help he can get, and Cassie's basically going into it alone.
Yep.
I thought it was cool. To me it shows that Mox has pushed Cassie to a breaking point. He's kind of been saying to me it's a little bit of the show not tell, right? Because Mox is saying he's pushing Cassie and
Cassie's going to be the martyr for other people.
That Cassie's going to be the martyr, and this is Cassie doing exactly that, right? So I like that. He's getting into his head. And while it is a bit of a dumb babyface move to go into this fight alone and renounce the friends who are willing to help you, Cassie also has a history of picking fights when he shouldn't and making things unnecessarily hard on himself. I think Mox knows that because remember, Mox ended his first title run, so he's goaded him into doing that again.
And a lot of the dumb babyface stuff is because they go it alone because they just want to do it on their own, whatever. I think Cassidy's more like, I don't want you guys to get hurt. Like I'm gonna spare you, and I'm gonna go deal with it.
Yeah.
To protect you, not because like I need to show I can do it on my own.
Yeah. So I like that. It kind of shows like he's what a good dude he is because he has these friends, and also that like even if it is a dumb move on his part, that's not like he's done this kind of thing before, so it's not completely out of character for him. I think in both ways it's very in character.
And you have this super mega heel faction, so you're really positioning him as just the biggest baby face ever, right?
Right.
Like,
so I think it really establishes the dynamics.
He's willing to face them by himself to spare his friends, kind of deal.
Yeah. And him getting like heated here surprised me a bit, but I liked it, and it kind of underscores again the importance of this for him. So I thought this was really well done and nice bit of character work for him, which I don't think we would have said a few years back. So I think the character.
I was wrong on him.
For
sure. I'm happy, very happy to say. I'd rather like a guy than not like a guy.
So I think the place we found his character in is super interesting, and it's a lot better from where we started. Even like when you want to say he kind of reached his peak at the Mimosa Mayhem kind of thing, like we're so past that now.
I was like, oh, he's fun and all, but it's a shelf life, right? I just thought
then he probably had one of my favorite title reigns in the history of pro wrestling.
Yep.
And then also now he's in this great spot.
And he's just really, really good in ring. Like whatever, say what you will about his gimmick, the guy can really wrestle really well.
The lazy thing is like just a part of it now because that was his thing. But I feel like it's not. In his early matches, it used to be his whole thing, right?
Yeah.
He's less heavy on the hands and pockets. Like it's still a thing, but it's just not. And it's not consuming him.
And maybe it's just because my opinions changed, but it feels more like. Before he was doing it thinking it was effective or whatever, and now he's doing it because he knows he can do that and still hang with you and beat you.
And I think back to the match he had with Ospreay at the first Forbidden Door, and I remember them really selling that, and Ospreay really selling that as like the mocking lazy offense was like really getting to Ospreay, and it was kind of working as a psychological tactic. So I think it even works on that level.
Yep.
So his evolution is just really great.
We've come full circle on him. Or 180'd on him. Full circle would put us back where we were, I guess. Right?
I'm glad you figured that out.
We 180'd on him.
Although that's a pretty small angle if it's infinite degrees.
Infinite. That's tiny. Tiny. Everything loses all meaning when you compare it to infinity. You put it on a scale of 0 to infinite.
I'm going to rate Full Gear on that scale. I'm going to rate Full Gear on the Meltzer
that's
scale.
That's our star rating, out of infinity.
Oh, then I'll be doling out 5-star ratings like there's no tomorrow.
Right.
But then we get to Chris Stanley versus Hikaru Shida. Dust her off, I guess.
That's exactly what I said when it started, right? Dust off Shida because you need to have a good match, and I thought it was. But it's like...
I thought it could have been.
She is. And then
I don't think it was bad, but it's just... I don't know. Statlander blocked a shot from Shida, then hit a leg sweep and standing moonsault for 2. Scoop power slam from Shida. Roll up from Statlander, sorry. Roll up from Shida for 2, followed by a pump knee and a short arm lariat. Falcon arrow from Shida for 2. They were talking about how she lost faith in the katana knee.
I wrote that down too.
For kicking it, because someone kicked out of it, and then I was like, oh, someone kicked out the Falcon arrow. Better lose your smile.
That's right. Yeah. I made note of that too. I thought it was weird.
And you didn't like her shirt either.
They really had to I didn't like her.
It felt like a weird pirate. Like,
and Sheeta's cool, but her gear was not for me.
She was dressing up as a pirate for Halloween. It's fine.
Kinda.
It's different when Takeshita wears his pirate pants. I love those.
Those are funny. Who's going to tell him they don't look cool? Not me.
Him and that and like a leather jacket.
Although Sheeta could kick the crap out of me too. So to be fair.
Yeah, what are you trying to say?
Yeah, I could definitely take Sheeta.
What are you trying to say here? Honestly, I don't know. I wish I could look as cool in those pants as Takeshita does.
It would be tough.
Like, I don't like those kind of pants typically, but I wish I looked half as cool as Takeshita does. He owns that look, honestly. I remember they had that Street Fighter, not Street Fighter, it was like the Sega Street Fighter, remember last year with the Bushi on a bike? Mm-hmm. There's the thing I forgot it happened.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But that, and I remember he wrestled that in the pants, and I love it. Anyways, German suplex from Shida. Then the finish comes when Statlander counters the katana. That'll shake your confidence.
Yes.
And hits the they call it Wednesday Night Fever when it's on Dynamite, but I swear they once called it Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, because that's a movie.
Well, but like in the name pun.
I know.
Remember at All Out they called it Saturday Night, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. That was awesome.
That was funny, and so that's what I think it's called now.
Right in our wheelhouse, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
handshake, but Moné's music hits, and she walks out with Camille. She starts with her catchphrase, rips on the Sixers because they're in Pennsylvania.
Saturday Night Fever was from the greatest year that ever was.
1969.
1977, brother.
Oh, gross.
Great year. All great things occurred in 77.
Gross. I heard that was the year a lot of people made some mistakes that year. I think, a lot of errors were made then.
The mold was broken in 77, lads. Glasses? Probably not.
Bearded white guy really broke the mold there, didn't
that's
you?
right. That's right. Father time, mother time. Time is undefeated. Okay? Don't forget. It'll get you too.
Yeah. She brags about holding the TBS title longer than Statlander, and she proclaims herself the greatest TBS champion of all time. She says she'll win at Full Gear and never lose the title. That's,
Probably.
She orders Camille to take a Statlander even though she's in a sling. Ha ha ha. Amusing. Camille gets taken out by Statlander and Cheetah. Moné goes for a backserve from behind. Statlander blocks it, goes for Saturday Night Fever, hits that. Yep. There we go.
Yeah, I thought it was...
It was solid, but I just feel like there's a better match in there.
For sure. I was going to say good might be a tiny bit strong.
I like them both so much in ring, so that I just hate them throwing this out like it's nothing.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with it at all. And Statlander's like cool. She's power, athleticism, but there's something missing, right?
I've been saying any character is missing.
But also like charisma. Part of it's her fault, I think.
Maybe, but I feel like she's also hasn't been given a huge chance to try.
She hasn't. I think it's a combination of both those
I'm
things.
not saying you're wrong, but I also don't want to blame her because
I know.
I don't feel like and I feel like when they're finally going somewhere, we're like, Stokely does have charisma.
Yeah.
They just abandoned it.
I know.
And what's Stokely doing now? He was trying to manage Private Party, but now that they're champions, he gave up. Like, what are we doing?
And her recent turn was completely out of nowhere, right?
Face turn, yeah. I still
no
don't understand.
Explanation.
Like, and she drops again. I feel like they were finally going somewhere with her.
Yeah.
And so it bothers me that they gave up because I've been begging for a direction for her for a while because I like her a lot and I think she's cool.
She's different and a powerhouse.
Yeah, I really like her and I'll stand by that. But it's
been a long time and nothing now.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know how long I can keep saying that. Like, I guess it's not like. Well, it's different because we kept saying Ty Valkyrie was good, and we were like, oh, well,
is she?
Yeah,
is she though?
I know Statlander's good. It's just
right. I agree.
It's more so I don't know how long I can keep hoping for something.
I tell you, the Moné is getting close to. Is she? You know what I mean? She's getting close to that territory for me.
Well, it's
and
weird
I told you I was watching something.
She was.
Well, from 2016 or 17.
2016, 17 was peak Sasha for me because that was when she was babyface feuding with Charlotte, or even heel pandemic Sasha.
Must have been just a pay-per-view randomly on the network, and it was on. And yes, her entrance and everything, she's so cool.
The boss is cool.
And I don't know what happened, man.
I remember the Snoop Dogg room was like, yes, y'all.
So, anyways, I didn't think this match carried over the energy of the opener, obviously. I thought it brought things down a little bit. But
according to some people, it's the best match on the card.
Right. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I can't say that.
Yeah, there's just a better match there. And we always say it, but they need to do more Shida. She's really good in ring, but never gets anything good character-wise, and it never feels like she has actual momentum behind her. And I feel like Statlander is reaching that status, and I hate that because I think she's great. The match with Statlander and Moné is one I hope delivers in ring because, again, I don't care about it other than the potential in ring.
Correct. No real build.
Moné's still good in ring, so at least there's that. But even then, I feel like I really liked her in WWE a lot more.
100%.
I hope she finds her way back because
I don't think she's bad. There was a time where I would have said she might have been my favorite wrestler, full stop. I thought she was awesome.
She was definitely my favorite women's wrestler for a time.
Yeah, definitely.
I think she's really good. I used to like her a lot.
The ceiling is high. We just got to get back somewhere near that.
Yeah, for sure. And it sucks because I think they invested a lot in her. And I don't think it's quite as bad as Saraya because I think that was just an abysmal investment from the start.
Oh, she's taking more time off to do the red carpet stuff and do other things.
Who, Moné or?
Paige.
Oh.
Great. See ya. Yeah. Don't be in a rush. You go do you for as long as you want.
Take Jericho with you.
What did you mention it? I have 3 tries to get on stats back.
Oh no, but I do remember that.
She tried. Did you hit a backstabber?
Yeah, because Tyler was supposed to strength block it, right?
Oh, is that? It was intentional. I thought she was just slipping off or something.
Well, because I don't think the point was ever to hit it, but I think she was supposed to latch on.
Yeah.
And so yeah, when Monet sent Camille in the ring and she was about to hit Statlander, for a second, like when she was looking at Sheeta, I thought Sheeta was gonna hit Statlander. I doubt it'll happen, but it was something interesting to note. Monet's promos, whatever. Like I don't care.
Sheeta's another one they could put a character on. Would be cool.
Could ever join Monet? I don't really know what that does for her, but it's something.
Yeah.
And it sucks we never got Monet officially in the Elite when that was an opportunity because
missed opportunity huge.
Because we kept pitching that.
And she would have had to like not talk all for herself all the time.
And they did turn her heel, which I think was the right move.
100%.
Still.
But they did miss left money on the table there.
Yeah. Then we get the Hurt Syndicate. MVP and Shelton beat up some dude they thought was Swerve because he had a big coat. It made them look intimidating, I guess, but there isn't a lot of substance here.
What? Sorry, what was that?
They just beat up some dude in a coat because they thought it was Swerve. Lashes, or so not Lashes, Shelty and Montel.
I didn't even make note of that.
Yeah, it really wasn't a lot.
What was I doing?
Then we got a Switchblade Hangman vignette.
I got that.
I believe it was mostly Reeves material, but I think when Hangman was shouting about being the Hangman, I thought that was really great. It was short but killer. They're both awesome. I love them, and I really hope it delivers, and I can't imagine it doesn't.
Yeah, it's just that the contrast, right? Paige is like unhinged, and then
White's always like
the cerebral,
yeah,
kind of. So that, and then they're going to be awesome in ring. So
I've seen so much discourse doubting Switchblade, and I don't understand it. 'Cause to me, he's just like he's undeniably a top dude.
I don't know what it is about him, but he is not for everybody.
I don't understand.
I don't know either.
I don't understand how he can be that polarizing. I don't understand what about him is that.
Or I shouldn't even say that. Maybe it's just the stuff I listen to and consume. Maybe
always
on
been
a scale of 0 to infinite, he's really God.
He's really bad.
Or good, I don't know.
Like honestly, I don't understand what's wrong with him.
I'd put him at like 68 million for
garbage wrestler. But honestly, I've always liked him. Like he was when I would kind of keep tabs on New Japan, he was the guy I thought was kind of cool, and then when he left, it was Ospreay. But I think he's fantastic.
So much out of when he first got there. It was like that. It was almost consensus that he sucked, and then he got good.
He's so good. I don't understand how he's not undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's quite on Ospreay's level where he's undeniable, but I think he's definitely a bona fide main event guy.
He's a guy you can put in the main event, I think, too.
Absolutely. I think a title run would be awesome, and I'm pitching Mox, Darby, Switchblade, Ospreay. That's your world title lineage for next year.
I'd have no problem with it.
Then we get Bobby Lashley versus Joe Keys and
Can
Cheeseburger.
we give Samoa Joe another run, too?
Yeah. Honestly, I think...
Honestly?
I did say it earlier, too. I feel like... And then
I don't think he said it this week, and he was on quite a bit. I can't remember.
But honestly, I feel like I would like to give Joe a title run, but maybe like I don't think the world title just because
I miss that kid.
Yeah, just because like as much as I love Joe, there's just other people that need it. You know what I mean? I think I'm satisfied with the run we had at the very least, and I would like them to have a run with any of the mid card titles.
Mm-hmm.
Pick any of them except for the Takeshita one because he's gonna hold that forever. Larry and a Dominator Cheeseburger. I love that move. The Dominator Suite. Shout out to Farouk.
Yeah. It looks scary to take.
Yeah. Well, I hated it when he would, because he has him over his shoulder, right? And they would call it, like, he would do it, like, I think the safer version was, like, he'd drop him to the side.
Yeah.
But I like when he just, like, because he did it, like, this way, where it's basically, like, a forward power slam, and he just, like, just throws him down. I like it even better when Lashley goes down with them. So it's, like, a reverse power slam. It's, like, I think it looks awesome. But Keys broke the pin there. Spinebuster and a spear to Keys, and then Keys passes out in the Hurt Lock. Nana comes out with the chair and lures away Shelton so Swerve can come in and jump Lashley. House call and a Swerve stomp to Lashes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
It was a Ryback treatment for Lashley this week, eh? We noticed right away, Joe Keys was basically like a young boy when I was doing Ring of Honor solo missions. If you want some bad podcasting, go back to me doing I assume they're terrible. Me by myself, not knowing what I'm doing.
And I was like, is that Cheeseburger? And it was.
It was Cheeseburger. Yeah, I don't know. It was just a squash for Lashley, and then it was more about setting up the sneak attack for Swerve, right?
Yeah,
with the chain.
I agree. It was a fine squash. Not a lot to say there, honestly.
No, it was more about the further build to Lashley. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's the best build in the world, but at least there's something there.
I think the build's been solid. I just don't think this was necessary.
Fair.
Then we get Mariah May Shirakawa interview. Renee's in the back with them. She brings up them teaming on Rampage. and they're having a celebration at Full Gear. May says it's her division. You either hold the women's title or you die. And then Mina says she's very proud of Mariah and will give her a celebration she won't forget. I feel like that's teasing. Maybe she's bringing back Storm intentionally, just because, like, to me, the dynamic here is really interesting. I think May's become the supervillain version of herself, and to me, it looked like Mina, like, she was kind of, like, afraid of it, and it was kind of awkward. Like, she has trouble keeping it with May in that regard, and, like, I feel like May is, like, doing the super evil dark tone. She's like, you hold the title or you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mina's like, oh, we're gonna have this great celebration. Like, she's just trying to keep the tone lighter, right? So I feel like
I think that's
it's
fair.
Interesting. And then so now, because she's like kind of afraid of this new May, she's gonna bring back Storm.
Yep, I think that's probable.
And they did establish that Mina's more of a middle way now, that because I think they mentioned if she had contact with Storm, and she's not as pro May as you would think.
No, I think that's probably where they're going with it, which I don't think is a bad idea. No. And if you're right, predictable's not bad. We always say that, right?
And I think, again, that's the only way the segment can go. Whether it's Mina bringing her or Storm just shows up.
Yeah.
Either or.
And I my only thing was I said Monet needs to take notes from May, which seems crazy, right? But Mariah May is
25
crushing Monet. I would say in ring and on the mic.
Absolutely. At least at this current stage.
Every whatever of wrestling, character, everything.
Mm-hmm. Then we move on to Darby Allin versus Claudio Castagnoli.
What a fun one. Yeah, man.
Darby's quick on his feet early on, evading Claudio a lot, rolls him up for 2, followed by a springboard crossbody to a seated Claudio. Darby went for a coffin drop to the outside, but he gets dead caught by Claudio because, mad lad. And he gets spun around in a rear waist lock, gets chucked, gets thrown in the barricade and uppercut over. Just murder. And Claudio's walking up the ring steps with Darby in a delayed vertical suplex and drops him in the ring. That was pretty killer. A series of suicide dives from Darby. Avalanche got run superplex from the top rope from Claudio for 2, which is pretty epic. Bit of a botch, but they recovered well enough thanks to Claudio's freak strength.
Yeah.
And Darby hits a code red for 2. Claudio swings Darby at ringside into a steel steps. Just how?
There's no way it doesn't hurt. You can say everything's fake and whatever. There's no shot some of this stuff doesn't hurt like hell.
Darby's the one to do it, though.
Yeah.
Then Claudio gets them both atop the announce table and just gets Darby up in a military press and just hucks them on the timekeeper's table, which somehow doesn't break, which makes it worse, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
And he just lands like perfectly bundled up in the tablecloth.
Yeah, he looked like I was like, oh, he's all tucked in.
Then Darby beats the 10 count back and Claudio just smashes him with a lariat and gets the win straight up.
So I think that they're following your plan. Like, I think that's...
If I wasn't already pitching that, this convinced me of my plan.
I'm pretty sure it makes sense. Anyways,
and I
really,
think I'm a
really
genius.
fun to watch.
I loved it.
So, you don't know football at all, but you know the quarterback's the guy that throws the ball. So, all those
that
big...
is, yes, sports.
All those big, huge guys in front of him that protect him, there's all that... Like, a lot of times they talk about, like... the quarterback will take them out for dinner or buy them Rolexes at the end because they're the ones that keep him safe, right? I think the guys who wrestle Darby Allin, right, that want to look like, you've got to thank him backstage
Hail
or
Berry.
take him out for something, right? Because, yeah, that's your only football knowledge. He looks like an absolute
I know the Super Bowl shuffle
monster here. And
it was
he
crazy.
has more. We already talked about it.
I actually used the exact words, absolute monster here.
Me too. No, I said, sorry, looked like an absolute beast. I apologize.
I use those interchangeably, though.
And we already talked about, like, he seems to have a little bit more edge to him. And so, like, Darby just took an absolute beating and sold like he does. And this is, like, if you need to write somebody off TV...
That's what I'm saying.
Like, this is how you do it.
I think maybe they beat the tar out of him next week again, just for shits and giggles.
My only fear is I'm pretty sure you're right in that the end goal here is Darby Mox. What does Mox have to do to him to, like, make, you know what I mean? This is a tough act to follow. And I assume Darby wins when it's Darby Mox. So Mox has to, like, basically kill him because he got half killed here.
Yeah. I mean, Mox already did murder him at Grand Slam, right?
Yeah,
There's that
true.
Avalanche Death Rider.
Great match.
Yeah, this is perfection. I think all around I can definitively say this is the best version of Claudio we've seen.
Yeah.
Maybe even that stretching to his WWE run. Like, this might be the best work of his career. His character and promo work is the best thing I've ever seen, because that's never been praised by him, but I've been praising him constantly, and as have you. His in-ring work is as good as ever. That's never
and
been
the
a
Big
problem.
Brother stuff and the violent stuff, like it's all clicking.
If not even better, because he's been murdering Darby repeatedly. Darby didn't get a ton of offense in this, but if you know him, he doesn't need to. Taking a beating is his jam. That's his bread and butter. And man, did he here! Claudio's just chucking him and swinging him around the place and smashing him with some heavy strikes or something. If he came back for more, the toss of the announce table was crazy looking. Would have been a convincing countout win, honestly. But Claudio beating him right after was even more of a statement, a welcome surprise. You could easily sell this as the beating that forces Darby to retreat.
Exactly.
And I think that's the way to go.
And he comes back knowing he needs to be more violent and more whatever and whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he watches
that's where we're going
from the rafters and feels like he's not.
Do you
like,
think they'll actually do that? Like,
I think so.
I think they might too.
I think it's the way to go.
Yeah.
And especially because
it's very on the nose or whatever, but...
Well, I think not even that it's because comparing the storylines, but I think because they love to do the homages to Sting. And for me, as someone who doesn't really care about that, this is something where that actually applies, and I think it works.
And I know I'm using this term, but that's that iconic stuff where it's like, oh, he's in the, that's very...
Yeah, and I think, like, he'll feel like he can't do anything because he literally just got the stuffing kicked out of him here.
Yeah.
And then eventually he's like, he knows what he has to do, and he's going to come back and do it. So I think it's the best way to go, and if they don't do it, I think that's leaving money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just have him sit at home, I think that's lame. I think you need to see that he's shaken. I think you need to see that he's at least still has an interest in this, but doesn't feel he's the one to do anything.
He's going to watch from a safe distance for a while. Yeah,
you need to show us that he's still invested. So I think just have him in the rafters. It doesn't have to be every week, maybe, but like at least I would say often, right? So I would like that. Or maybe have Claudio murder him one more time. This is great. No complaints. Private party interview. Renee asked about their strategy for Full Gear. They say they can't give it out, and the stacks are against them, but it's always been like that, and they'll leave New Jersey and still tag team champions, and the Costco guys come up because they got
couldn't open my worst of document fast enough.
That's later. That's after.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't right
but
now.
It just made me think that how many times last year I remember them mentioning that Full Gear's in the Kia Forum, Prudential Center this time, but
bummer.
No, but I thought it was kind of smart. Like Zay was like, we're not giving away our strategy.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of smart because sometimes wrestlers do watch the show. It's not always consistent who watches, but he's smart to think of that. The rest of this was solid. Costco guys are not something that needs to be here, but I can't wait.
But doesn't it kind of feel like private parties just right back to their previous sort of thing? Like I was hoping they'd be a little bit different now that they're getting attention.
That's what I expect.
I thought they were fine. I just don't I'm already annoyed because I don't know who these guys are. I've never heard of them in my life, and I know that makes me sound like a boomer and whatever. I don't have social media. I see them
constantly, but I have a very hard time explaining what they are to you.
Okay. That's not a ringing endorsement. I have no idea.
They go to Costco a lot, and they get the kid gets
so they're just is their social media account something to do with they go to okay, and
so from what I understand, it's really weird. So it's because I think I didn't catch it when it was starting. I think I caught it when it was kind of already caught on.
Couldn't get in on the ground floor of this trend.
Don't think I wanted to.
Fair.
But so they always go to Costco. I guess they just started doing videos there, and the kids thing is he has this chicken bake because that's one of the things on the menu there. I guess like he always eats, so that's his thing. And then the dad's thing is the double chunk chocolate cookie, and he'll say it in a weird voice that I refuse to imitate.
Okay.
And so he literally said in the promo one of his beefs with QT Marshall is that he knocked down the cookies.
Yeah, so that illusion, I got nothing from me because I didn't know who these people were.
And then they put out a song, We Bring the Boom.
No, I do not know.
Okay. And they do a whole...
I'm very cool and
do a whole dance to it. And then now they've got then there's this chubby kid called the Rizzler because, Riz is game. And so he does this face. And so that's his thing. He'll be there. Because
I know they said that name.
So that Rizzler. And then there's there's the mom and daughter now. They have a bunch of so since he signed for AEW, right? Then they had a bunch of the related influencers in this lit up studio to do the dance videos. And now they have a remix of the song where it's got a bunch of features from said related people.
What a world.
It's now they call it the Costco verse because there's all these people they do videos with.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
So yeah, I guess
that makes sense at all?
It does. It doesn't make me happy, but it makes sense.
Every time I see them, I sometimes watch it, and then it's like I'm just like, they're legitimately one of those things that make me go, what are we doing on the internet?
This is
I legitimately don't understand.
This is no gimmick. I literally had never heard of.
Oh, I know you haven't. That's why I refuse to explain it to you before it happened.
My ignorance.
Because I told you they were going to be on there, and I refused to explain it at all to you because I thought it would be better to witness this in isolation.
It's amazing.
There's this, and have you heard of the Hawk Tua girl at all?
Yes, I know she had her 15 minutes or so.
That's one of those things where I'm like, what are we doing? Why does she have a podcast? Because like her whole thing was like this interview. I think it was talking about like something like sexual or whatever, because like it's like Hawk Tua spin on the thing. It was her thing, and then so somehow that blew up to the point where she has her own podcast, which is called Talk Tua.
So hilarious, I couldn't avoid that one. I did know I was in the loop on that one somehow.
Why? That just shows how easy it is to make a podcast, and any one or two losers can go on the internet and make a podcast and get people to listen to it.
Can get a couple mics and a cheap web. I want to do almost an ironic studio tour because I think I've said this before. When I watch it, even the ones that are like budget studio tour, and then it's like, I know that thing's $500, and I know like outside of having a laptop, this is all very cheap setup. I could do like the budget studio tour.
But like, so those things are just, I'm just like, as a childish still, I'm like, what is happening?
It's scary.
Or like, have you seen Logan Paul's Lunchable?
I heard it. There is one.
Logan Paul,
Isn't
Mr.
it
Beast
a combination of YouTubers?
It's Logan Paul, Mr. Beast. It's Mr. Beast overpriced mediocre chocolate plus Prime plus Lunchable.
Mr. Beast crossed over into poker for a bit, so I know who that is.
Lunchables aren't known for being overly healthy, but like, you know, that's a staple, and so they went right for it. I
love Lunchables.
Well, it's literally Lunchables, but like
Lunchable sponsorship.
Worse, if not the same quality. Then now you have a Prime with it, which is disgusting.
I just want old school Lunchables.
And then like the third guy is KSI because he's
I know him, friend of Paul.
You should hear his song. It's also abysmal.
Nope.
Anyways, the internet's bad.
Another digression.
Yeah, but now you're caught up on the internet.
I'm caught up on the internet. Perfect.
What a beautiful world.
I rely on you for that, so I'm not doing it on my own, that's for sure.
Although they do say ignorance is bliss, so keep that into consideration.
That is, in this case, for sure.
Yeah. Then we get an MJF promo. He drives up to a building and throws some chain for a homeless man to get. That was funny. He talks about how Roderick Strong's mother shot his father in front of him.
You forgot this. This was in NXT as well.
Don't think I was watching NXT enough at that point.
How dare you? Yeah, it's not cool.
It's crazy.
Abusive situation, one shoots other, I believe.
Yeah. Was the dad abusive or not? I guess the dad was abusive.
I would assume so.
Yeah. And he brings up the trauma and healing as a result. That's why Strong will do anything for Cole to feel those positive things he lacks. The difference between him and Cole is that Cole's a mirage of what you want him to be, but deep down he knows he cares about Strong. He's happy Strong won, and he'll send him back to the trailer park. He'll be in so much pain that instead of his mother shooting his father, he'll have wished he shot him instead.
Kind of knew he was going to say that, right?
I was laughing before he said it because I knew where it was going, but I thought an interesting note was MJF's calling Cole a fraud and not what he wanted him to be. It's completely true. MJF's this diabolical heel, and he raises another completely valid point.
Yeah.
So we're back to this doesn't make sense.
We've come back around to that.
This is full circle. There you go.
So there you go. Parents' alcohol, drug addiction witnessed an unfortunate shooting incident involving his parents. That's crazy.
That is not crazy.
Yeah, very crazy. Yeah, Roddy's like, I don't know, it's MJF. It's classic MJF, and he went too far, as he tends to do, but I love it every time, right? When he just, because this was like, you instead of your dad got shot. That's tough.
Yeah, it was something.
Yeah, it was.
Then we get the Costco guys.
Hooray. I have Renee with same random guys. I hate this. Put this crap on Rampage, not on anything I watch.
And they had a weigh-in on Rampage.
This is where I was immediately opening my document and going, worst of whatever this is the worst thing I've seen in a long time. Immediately. It's on there. I promise you will hear about this in January or February, whenever we get around to doing it.
Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready anytime.
Damn, I gotta get going on it then.
I've been ready. AJ says this match was 20 years in the making because he used to indie wrestle, I guess. And he says he has a problem with QT since he's really into double chunk chocolate cookies. The Riz will be in his corner. Bring the boom.
Nope.
That's what we do.
Nope.
Bring the boom.
I think I'm almost to the point where if this is anything recurring, I'm like, we're not giving it oxygen. We will not contribute to this. Anyways.
I didn't even want to talk about it here. I wrote, "Welp, that happened." As a professional person.
Perfect.
As a professional person who exists on the internet, I still don't get them.
Nope.
I don't know.
And you were loving that and I know you love that I hate it. That's half. So it might actually come back into you thinking it's good because you get to watch me be like, oh my God, what are we doing?
That's the only reason I'll tolerate their existence here.
WWE can do this stuff. If that's maybe part of it too. That felt very like, oh, these guys are hot right now. It's Sexy Red or whatever.
They got to sign them, otherwise WWE will sweep this up.
Right.
Then Shivani interviews Roddy on the stage.
Have him.
He says he hasn't slept since last week, since he's been thinking about finally getting his hands on MJF. That makes it sound weird. He says he heard his whole life about his parents being addicts. MJF might feel sorry for him, but he feels sorry for MJF. He talks about MJF acting like a baby if he doesn't get what he wants. So he wants him to look in the mirror and think about everything he did. He ends up by saying he'll break MJF's back.
So it's weird, right? Because Roddy's delivery is awkward or unique or something. But I've learned to like it. But I think if I sat your mom down and said, watch this guy, what do you think of his acting? She'd be like, oh my God, he's so I don't know what it is. He's like worn us down.
I think he's solid, but also it just doesn't work in this feud.
No, and and I don't like that he's flanked by these losers too, because I don't like them, obviously.
Yeah.
But MJF has really, really, in terms of go home show, now you've got a super sympathetic baby face, right? Yeah. Especially for people that didn't know that story.
This was lacking a bit of heat, and so at least they tried a bit.
I think so. I think it helps, especially if the average person doesn't know about that story. If you weren't watching NXT or you're whatever, like that's baby face stuff there for MJF to work off of.
Yeah, and I think it was solid, but I think we could have just done without this and have MJF build it, because I don't know, it felt like a Rampage segment for me. It was pretty short.
Yeah, at least MJF and Cole are not directly involved with each other right now, so you can sort of forget a little.
No, because Roddy helped Cole do it. So.
Yeah, I guess.
But because they're such good friends, and they just wanted to fight a righteous fight.
That's right.
Good grief. Then we get a recap of Perry attacking Daddy Magic on Collision. Then Garcia and Daddy Magic chained Perry to the scapegoat bus and drove off. And now we get to see kidnapped Jack Perry with Garcia and Daddy Magic.
Yep.
Perry's all tied up on a chair. He says everybody has a code and cares about right or wrong until it costs them something. I thought that sounded really cool. Garcia says Perry has no idea what he's had to sacrifice to get here. He knows where he wants him to go, but he'll never go there. Perry spits in his face. Garcia says bet, and he says he has something for him. He grabs a crowbar. Instead of attacking Perry, he attacks the bus and leaves. His Daddy Magic yells at him about where he's going. I think he also said like he just wanted to wrestle, but then everything's gone to crap recently, which I thought was a good point.
So my first thing is kidnap and torture earns you a spot on commentary for Menard, right? So maybe it's just because I want it to be this way, but I feel like Perry smiling and whatever and laughing when he hits the bus and not him is like, this is Perry going, I need to get, this guy's a better wrestler than me and he's a technician and I need to get him out of that zone.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of cool. If it's like my best chance to beat him is if he's super mad and not executing the way he can.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right?
I like that.
Because I don't know. So
and I like that the first thing Perry said when he spoke was that like Garcia is more like him than he thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that he's going to the sick place. He's like, oh, we're a lot alike now, which is again could play into what you're saying.
And when Garcia can't follow through and only hits the bus, Perry laughs there because he's still trying to egg him on, sort of thing, right? He's trying to get him like not thinking straight, I guess would be the plan.
I like that. I thought Garcia made a solid point too that like he wants to wrestle, but that's not how things have been going lately. So he has to kind of adapt. And Perry, I thought the line about the sacrifice and moral code is interesting. I like just like some of his lines have always been interesting to me. The scapegoats worked.
I think he's doing a good job.
I think so, and I liked him kind of egging Garcia on, and it was amusing. The bill definitely took a turn for me. I wasn't expecting this, but I like that they're actually putting effort into this, and I think Garcia has to win. hopefully.
That's exactly my thoughts. Not to spoil our predictions later, but like you can't do it again. We keep saying that, right? Like you can't start and stop with this guy anymore.
Yeah.
Or else you just have to cut bait. It's one of those fish or cut bait at this point.
Then we get Jericho Ishii contract signing in the locker room for some reason. Jericho talked about he had to leave.
Oh yeah, it was.
He had to have his lawyer
and he's
look
back
the contract
to the smiling
over.
idiot thing.
Yeah, so then he's walking, and then we get like a minute or two of just Ishii walking behind Jericho through the arena. Like they're just
like it's horror movie-esque, no matter how.
Not
fast.
even. They're just walking at a medium pace. We're just watching two old dudes walk through an arena.
We did
to the ring. Jericho says eventually he would have signed the contract, but he doesn't have a pen. Ishii gives him one. Jericho signs it.
Out of his trunks. Great.
Yeah, Jericho signs it. There's a brawl bit. The conglomeration take control. Ishii signs the contract. This was lame. I didn't pay attention. Not good. Not fun. No no want match.
I feel like Jericho
sucks.
And his character's so inconsistent lately that it annoys me.
That has never happened before.
But I think he'd be like, oh, it's complex and I'm evolving and whatever.
No, Orange Cassidy's complex. I'd say Mox is complex. Hangman's complex.
Yeah, for sure.
Not Jericho.
So it's like you could use this time for anything else. Put this on ROH. This is the I'm going to make food on Full Gear, right?
Yeah, or thankfully his match isn't on the show even.
Oh, right.
It's on Dynamite next week.
Oh, that's even better. Okay, that makes me feel better. I honestly thought this was on. Okay, good.
No, in no universe is a pay-per-view match, even for ROH, because in ROH theoretically this is main eventing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
awesome.
Jamie Hayter review. Jamie Hayter's confused why Julia Hart interrupted her because they have never interacted, and she wants to have a chat. Then something, but they interrupted again. Julia Hart is an archer.
Yeah, she's shooting her previous gimmick.
I don't care.
And you know my thoughts on this. We talked about it. I just don't get... Like, you're treating it like she's killing this character, but she wasn't that character last. She hasn't been that character for a long time.
Maybe she had an existential crisis.
And you're saying they're just summarizing her, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know how to take it, and honestly, I don't care enough to try.
The vignettes are really cool. Like, I like the style and stuff. I'm just like, but she wasn't a cheerleader. So this whole, like, really dramatic, she's killing the previous gimmick to embrace this dark gimmick. But now she's embracing the dark gimmick of a group that's now babyface.
Yeah, like, it's really weird. But Brody King's talking to her here, like, the voiceover, right? So it's like...
Right.
It's weird.
So, cool production on the videos. And it's always better when she doesn't have to talk.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Then we go to our main event, which is Cassie versus Yuta. Yuta hit a cool kind of like, it was like a brainbuster on the barricade.
Looked awesome, because it's the thin little like metal barricade, right?
Mm-hmm. DET on the apron from Yuta. Cassie hit hard with a roundhouse kick and a PK, followed by a brainbuster for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yuta with hammer and elbows, pretty heavy, but Cassie counters and wrenches Yuta's fingers, and he hits Soul Food and Michinoku driver for 2. Cross-legged tombstone from Cassie for 2, which I thought was cool.
A neat variation.
Rapid fire hammer and elbows from Yuta. Then he locks Cassie in cattle mutilation. Cassie able to eventually get his feet on the ropes. Yuta swings at Cassie with a chair, but then Cassie avoids it and finish comes with an O'Connor roll with the legs crossed. Cassie is able to eke out a win. Pac attacks Cassie from behind, though. He is back. I accidentally wrote Yuta for some reason. That is not.
I thought the
right.
The roll up looked good.
I thought it was good. Yeah, he is good at doing that.
He is.
Yuta, Pac, and Claudio stomp the crap out of Cassie as Mox and Shafir arrive. Then they put his hands in his pockets, duct tape his arms in place, and then Mox beats the tar out of him until they leave, and then the conglomeration cut him free. Yeah.
So the match felt a bit short. Thought it was pretty entertaining though while it lasted. Yuta got a lot of time in control. He looked really good. Cassidy does what he does, like similar to Allen, but not on that level, obviously, but like selling, right? And taking punishment. So the roll up looked solid. Outcome of this and the beatdown afterward were all expected.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a cool way to like tie into his character, like putting his hands in there and then just kind of beating the crap out of him. And his wishes were respected, but it came back to bite him. Yeah. As expected.
Exactly. And conglomeration waited. They did what they said they would do, I guess. They seemed kind of silly because, I mean...
But he wanted to protect them, and they were protected.
They were. So overall...
I thought the main event was good. Like, little underwhelming for a main event, but it's fitting into the big angle right now, so I think it's fair game. I thought Yuta looked good. I thought he looked vicious appropriately, and Cass is a good guy to take your offense. I didn't expect him to win, but it's a shame we couldn't throw Yuta's way.
His crazy beard looks cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the aftermath too, and I hope the main event delivers because I think the road to get here has been pretty strong.
Yes, it's just they're going to have some tough matches to follow, as we mentioned already, right? I thought this was a really good show. There was a little too much of the Cole MJF stuff and Jericho to go A. I went B+ though because I thought the 8-man was awesome. Claudio Allen was awesome, right? So you give me, remember how often we used to say you gave us 2 or 3 awesome matches? I thought this was 2 awesome matches and a good main event. Yeah. Solid women's match. So I went B+.
I agree. I think the segments hold it back a bit, but the matches were really good.
Yep. All right, so we're going to end that there. Move into a little bit of trivia that we like to call off the top of his head. All right, so this week we're going back to Family Feud style. I'm going to give you 6 X's again or more. Who knows, whatever. That's the plan, but we'll see how it goes. So I don't know how I got onto this, but I think it's 32 wrestlers who are currently wrestle for WWE, ranging from rarely to all the time, who are over 40.
Over 40?
Okay, so we've got, I'll give you a couple things. The oldest is 52. Youngest is obviously 40. There are women, and again, ranges from people you see all the time to people who are like special attractions. Okay. So I'll leave it with
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest, correct. He is 41 years old.
I want to say LA Knight.
Yes, because these are all ones we've talked. LA Knight is also 41 years old. There's some that surprised me. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Let me think. And
if it gets really tough, if you want to pull up the WWE roster at some point, I don't care.
Okay.
But maybe not right away.
That's fair because I can't see ages. It's interesting because I'm thinking there's like young guys like Dunn's super young, you know what I mean? So there's other end of the spectrum, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Roman's under 40. That's not a guess. I'm just saying I know he's older, but I don't think that's.
Nope, that's not one. You're right. That's not a strike.
Okay, so I'm trying to think. Like, are we? So I'll throw it out there. Are we counting someone like Goldberg? I don't think so.
No,
right? You're not.
He's not even a special attraction.
Okay, so
I won't count that.
I was gonna say he hasn't wrestled in a while, so I wasn't sure if that's.
These people have all wrestled recently.
Rock.
Yes, there you go. That's one of the oldest ones. There is somebody as old as him.
Okay.
Who's on TV all the time.
Could we go with Trish because she wrestled within the last year a bunch?
Absolutely, Trish is one of them as well.
Right. That's one of the women's ones, like you were saying, right?
Right. Where is she? She is.
Can I ask? Is there any other women? Because I feel like
there are other women.
There's limited options. Okay.
One I was surprised by. Actually, a couple.
Okay. Are these all main? They're all main roster, right? They have to be.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an odd.
Quit stalling. Say some names.
I'm genuinely I'm gapping on it. Who's like
anyone who's wrestled a long time?
Who's notable? I don't know.
Tons of notable people on here.
Punk.
CM Punk is 45 years old.
Damn, old.
He's so young.
I'm trying to think of anyone who's like come back.
Not. Yeah,
because like that.
Don't spend too much time on that. One's redacted.
Brock.
Yep, 40.
Oh, I guess he has wrestled within the last year. Okay.
47.
I wasn't sure if I should have said him or not because he was on my mind as well, but like I wasn't.
He's probably been the longest not.
And wrestling. So they're all like currently in WWE, like
correct. not
on
like TV all the
time. Not
like
someone who's come or like left recently but wrestled for them in the last year. Like they're all here now.
One is just returning for his run.
Just returning.
Wait,
Carlito?
Oh, Carlito is 145. I'm saying he's doing his last run. Right, coming up.
Who's? Oh, Cena?
Yes, 47.
Old.
The rest are like.
Who is that Mania?
All around quite a bit.
Okay,
one guy.
Probably a bad call, but I guess. Is it too soon to say Bubba Ray Dudley?
Yeah, it's too soon.
Okay.
I won't count that.
Okay. All right.
One tag team guy, his partner's. Oh, no, he's injured, actually. He just got injured. Tag team.
Who just
that
got
I
injured?
do not like.
The tag team you don't like?
Really don't like. Who do I like less than anyone?
I don't know. A tag team that you don't like in WWE?
Hate their theme. Hate the big man.
The big man. Who? Oh, wait.
Wow.
No, because they're not injured. Who?
Somebody just got injured. It was like in the news last week before.
Who just got injured? No, see, because...
Who's my least favorite tag team? Probably.
Oh.
In wrestling.
Gallows?
The other one.
Anderson
is 44, and actually I believe Gallows is on. Here's one thing that surprised me. Gallows is 4 years younger than Anderson.
Really? That's like
He's
a
40.
big difference from what I'd expect.
So you got both of those.
AJ Styles then?
AJ Styles, 47. Cool.
He's an oldie.
Oh, there's Stratus, 48.
Either Machine Guns, like, is that too soon? I feel like that should be eligible.
They're not. They probably. I won't give you strikes because they
have to qualify.
Think they made this,
you know what I mean?
100% they do.
Okay, all right. So that's like a decent.
I'll say think Bloodline. Might be surprised.
Roman?
No, you already said that, and I said I wouldn't count.
Right.
Finding ways to not give you X's here.
No way. It's
okay. Further hint.
Paul Heyman?
Timu Bloodline.
Oh, Timu Bloodline. Fatu?
No.
Tonga? With Tama Tonga?
No! Tama Tonga is 41.
Ah.
I was surprised.
Okay.
I'm giving you an X.
I was like about to say one of the Usos, and I was like, no, they're not.
Nope.
All right.
Keep going down that hole.
Camacho?
Tonga Loa, 41.
Damn. All right, they're oldies, and they just got brought I don't know. That's weird.
Both members of a tag team receiving a push right now.
Yeah. So that's definitely odd. Okay, a bit of an
outside.
No,
that's a hint for the next one.
Both members of a tag team receiving a push. What tag teams are getting a push? DIY?
No.
Damn.
Neck of Sand was the gimmick they wrestled this week on Raw. Their necks were being targeted.
Oh, man. New Day?
Big boys.
Oh, War Raiders, really?
Correct. I'll give it to you.
I was going to go with an outside bet.
Both of them are 40.
Nakamura's
44.
Nah. Nice.
Oh, there's the one that surprised me most, and her age. But anyway, sorry, keep going.
Charlotte?
Nope. Well, that's a strike.
It is.
No!
Who's like? I'm trying to think. Who's like?
We saw him in a non-wrestling show.
Women?
No, a guy. I'm giving you a random hint. Who did we go see that wasn't a wrestling show?
Cody.
Did we go see him?
Yeah, the comedy show. He was on there.
No!
Sammy?
Whose comedy show was it?
Oh,
Sami Zayn. 40.
Okay, by extension, Kevin Owens then?
No.
He's under 40?
According to this list.
Wow. All
right. A women's champion. Surprised me.
Current women's champion?
Yeah.
Nia?
40.
All right. How many do we have left?
A bunch. It's going to take a while.
Okay.
You did say New Day, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which one?
Kofi.
43.
So Woods is like decently younger then.
Obvious one in a mask, you're forgetting.
Ray. Oh, that is an obvious
49.
one. That's a horrible omission.
There's still one that's 52.
50? Who's 52 if it's not The Rock?
You'll know when you hear it.
Comedy.
Think comedy.
Oh, R-Truth.
Yeah, R-Truth is 52. He looks unbelievable.
He looks great. He's like Paul Rudd.
Unbelievable.
Paul Rudd's like Balor?
Balor is 43. Nice pull.
Thank you. I knew he was around there. Although I was so close to thinking he was like late 30s though.
Yeah. So you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 left.
I feel like at least Judgment Day is cleared out because
Judgment Day is cleared out.
I wouldn't bet on the next bet would be McDonough. But
Wyatt 6 is not cleared out. Rowan is correct. 42. Wyatt 6 is still not cleared out.
Bo Derek.
Who?
Bo Derek.
Who's Bo Derek?
Bo Derek Thompson.
What?
Bo.
No.
Loomis.
Correct. 40.
Gacy?
Not Gacy. They're cleared out now.
Oh. Well,
you got 2 strikes left.
Okay.
3 women.
Who? Oh. Becky?
No.
Oh.
No!
Rollins?
No!
Okay, that's your 6 strikes. So here come big hints then. Masked guy in Lucha Underground, not in WWE.
He's not in WWE.
Not masked, no.
Escobar.
Correct.
See, I was gonna say him, but then I second guessed myself. I was
40.
like,
He likes to flip over big things.
Well,
that was his gimmick for a while.
Scripps is gone.
He likes to feats of
strength. See, I'm thinking flipping like you do a flip.
No, he likes to tip things over. Strowman 40. Overrated female wrestler.
I already said Charlotte.
Nope. We're not sure she can actually wrestle, but she's been around for like 20 years.
Oh, Natalia.
Correct.
Why didn't I guess that?
42.
In my defense, how often do I think about Natalia?
Same age as her. One of my favorite women, dominated NXT.
Baszler?
No.
Asuka?
Yes.
Wow.
Same age as Natalia.
Wow.
Another woman older than that blew my mind because she hasn't been on main roster that long. We like her. Athletic, character work, in a crappy faction right now.
Dakota?
No.
Io?
Wrong faction.
What other factions are there?
Bad faction. Just made recently. You already said Baszler.
DeVille?
No.
Stark?
Yes.
How old is she?
44.
Wow. She looks good for 44.
She's amazing. She was just on the indies forever, I guess.
I guess so. She looks great for 44. Wow.
Just revealed he's part of a faction you can't stand.
Cross?
That faction who just revealed he's part of that. Miz 43. 2 left.
That seems like an obvious guess.
Not John Cena, but
Randall Keith.
Why
didn't I think of Randall Keith?
What a good clue that was. Super sweaty guy. I made a note of it this week.
Well, Shane's not there anymore.
No, first sound. I was gonna say syllable. I thought you were getting it first try. Yeah.
Sheamus?
Yes. 46.
That makes sense.
Okay, that cleared it out. That was kind of fun.
Stark. What the hell?
Right?
What?
Asuka and Natalia the same age.
The Zoe Stark one blows my mind.
That was the one that boggled my mind.
Wait, is that older? That can't be older than Natalia.
Like, I knew she was on the indies. I watched her, but I didn't know she was on the indies
still
for
crazy to me.
That long. Anyways, that was a lengthy one, but kind of fun. All right, we'll go back into talking about wrestling. It's anything we want that we thought was notable from the week. It's Highspots and Restholds. So Sasha Banks in between segments. You were going back to your...
You reminded me of it. I was like, oh yeah, I used to love that.
She was amazing. She
was.
That. All right, so we're going to talk about other stuff we saw. I watched Raw. You did not. I don't know if you saw anything.
I don't do that.
Can't remember. Opening segment was to get all the War Games women on TV again to convince us that this is meaningful in some way.
Planned out.
So I think it's Morgan and Rodriguez start out, and then she calls in her backup. It's Jack, Stratton, and LeRae, right? Of course, because Candice LeRae somehow.
Further evidence that the brand split died.
Yeah.
Both champions are here. Also, both champions recently fought each other.
And Jax is basically I don't think about either of you to Liv and Morgan. Or sorry, Liv and Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Even further saying, I don't even have any thoughts on you. I don't think about you, but we're teammates now, I guess.
Yeah.
But she does think about Belair, Cargill, and Naomi a lot.
I guess it's justifying the fact that they're teammates, so it's I don't care enough about you to really hate you or anything.
I guess. Yeah, you're nothing to me. And then Io and the rest of the faces come out, but they're one woman short that gets pointed out. So then Ripley back with a face mask, right? Earlier than I expected from an orbital bone. Headbutts Liv. Io hits a moonsault to the floor. Faces stand tall. LeRae and Naomi, I guess, because I'm not watching SmackDown, I don't get where they fit in at all.
What does Naomi have in common with the other women?
I guess in this case it's, hey, you're women, so we need 5 of you.
But what does she have in common?
It's not the whole group, is it?
But that's why she's there, because the 2 are there.
So the build for this, we've said it before, contrasted with the men's. Say what you will, the men's have a story that is well rooted.
It's just that Reed and Punk don't need to be there.
No. LWO got a win. Ray, it was mixed tag, right? Ray and Zelina Vega 10-minute match against Gable and Niall. I feel like the women barely touched. Maybe it was over the commercial break part, but the action between Ray and Gable was really good. Obviously.
I feel like they've kind of slowed down on American Made too. Like after the Wyatt Six feud, they kind of just.
So after the match, there seemed to be something going on. So Ray wins with the 619 and the splash, and then after the match, it's like the Creeds go to pick up Gable, and he gets fired up and is slapping Julius and like, "Do you think I'm a loser?" or whatever, and then. Screaming, he's not a loser. And then Brutus is kind of laughing because his brother's getting slapped. So Julius starts shoving Brutus, and they're getting all intense. And
which
Gable,
you could think is them splitting, but they used to do that in their entrance all the time, right? So.
And Gable, of course, likes the fire and that this is how you should be all the time, sort of thing. But
I agree, they could be killers.
They could, right? I just don't know. I feel like Gable needs to break from mentoring tag teams. Somehow I don't know. It's not. I thought this would be the perfect group, but it's not so far.
I guess, yeah, or just be more serious. I don't know. What she kind of is.
Unleash the Creeds a bit, right? Because they could be awesome, if you want them to. But flip side is, I don't think Ivy Nile is very interesting.
No,
and like I don't know if it's her fault. I think she came up too soon.
Yeah, I think the Creeds are ready, but
I agree.
One of those cases where they felt they had to do the
character work was
thing.
spotty too, still, but in ring they're awesome.
Yeah,
where she needs seasoning everywhere, I think.
Yeah.
Balor's kind of sarcastic backstage with Dom again, teasing like, and that's part of my problem with it. Hey, there's issues in this group again. So is the story like they're just gonna keep splintering and one by one like they go, and this is a story forever?
And like the new version of the group doesn't even last a year.
And then Dom and Carlito are headed to their match against the War Raiders, right? So yes, this feels repetitive. We kind of done this already. Miz did make me laugh in his. He said something.
I saw another bit with truth. I don't know if it was from this week or last week, but it made me laugh.
He said something about like this was his best acting job ever, like, and he even bled for it because he accidentally got cut during the segment and his eye
looked like Apollo Crews.
It looked like he was crying crying blood. And so he said something about like Marine 7 and that it'll be
WWE Studios film
directed by Tarantino or Scorsese or something like that. That made me laugh. So yeah, he's part of that group now. I don't know how that's going to work. I didn't hate this segment, so we'll see. Gunther and Kaiser are talking backstage, and Gunther speaks some German here to him. I like this as well, right? Letting him speak some German. And Gunther basically is like, I don't need you to speak for me, because Kaiser tried to do that last week, and Gunther was not happy about it. And he's basically saying he's going to forge his own path and that Kaiser should get out there and kind of do the same, I think was the message. And then, so this was a pre-recorded Raw, right? They did a double show, so like I guess everyone knew Ripley was coming back.
Yeah.
Anyways, it just felt lazy because Damian Priest is like 20 feet away signing something, and Gunther goes over with a lead pipe, and I almost sent it to you to watch because Damian Priest kicks Gunther in the gut, and Gunther is down and out and done.
I saw that he was down.
Enough
I thought that looked dumb even.
Enough for Priest to sit in a chair over him.
And like then talk to him, yeah.
And the line was, which I thought the line was okay, said, "You may be a general in the ring, but on the streets, I'm a king."
It feels kind of
Isn't that Solo Sikoa's gimmick? Wasn't he king of... He was king of the streets.
Street champ.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Like
street
many
champ.
moons ago, though. That was like well over 2 years ago. Then he joined the family that supposedly abandoned him.
But again, like, why are you doing this to Gunther? He comes with a lead pipe and takes one kick to the stomach and is down.
They
for
haven't
minutes.
put a foot wrong with him for so long.
It was inevitable. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe because like it's so weird that now they're seeming to falter
at the. Sorry, not the expense, but because of Priest, right? Like that's the problem. If you brought in, I don't even know if I want Gunther to do it to anyone.
Dragunov.
Yeah. Okay. That might be the guy.
One.
Yeah.
I would,
because
even though Sammy's the one who beat him already, but Dragunov's like could be the kryptonite.
And he knows how crazy Dragunov is, right? Yeah, you're right. That's the guy.
I think Dragunov would be a reasonable one to do.
Just swap him out real quick. Sheamus and Breaker, I told you, I thought it was a really good kind of hoss fight in the middle of this show. High impact stuff from both. Breaker seems to find new moves. Like I told you, he did like a swanton to the floor. It looked kind of rough, but at the same time, like not graceful but impactful.
And
know?
Like for someone who doesn't usually do that, like it
just
kind of makes
so
sense for it not to be
very
refined, I guess is the word.
I agree, and it works for him, right? Because he's going a million miles and then some sort of like suplex lift into a backstabber that I don't remember if he's done. Anyways,
like a end of heartache or.
I feel like maybe it was a gut wrench. I don't know. I'd have to go watch it again. And then things end up outside. I guess he's going for the super spear, which I hate to even say. And Kaiser shows up, right, and just beats the hell out of both of them, which I thought was, A, he's doing what Gunther said, like you need to go out on your own, and B, he did an awesome job. So I think
I saw
we're getting a triple threat maybe out of this. And my only note is, how is Sheamus literally dripping with sweat before the match even starts? Like, they hadn't even locked up.
They definitely, like, oil him up or
and
something.
He's dripping. No, he's dripping with sweat. Anyways, he probably warms
Lights
up
are hot.
at 46 years old, as we now know. Rollins will never work with Roman, which I had at that time likely means he will, but I guess he's not.
I guess not. I'm honestly kind of disappointed.
Even though the Usos and Sammy want him to, he says he'll take out Reed tonight. That's the only help he'll give them, is taking out Bronson Reed tonight. Dakota Kai got a pretty ordinary vignette where it's just like, hey, I'm back, and by the way, I'm babyface because my group is babyface. Basically, right? Because I think when she left, they were heels.
I think. I don't know.
Right, and now they're not. So what else do I have here? War Raiders defeated Mysterio and Carlito 9 minutes, and just a reminder of, like, the War Raiders have cool offense, right? And I think one thing that's cool is that it's almost like the smaller guy is the power guy.
That was always their thing that was cool.
Right? And the huge guy is like doing cartwheels and flips and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Wyatt 6, you saw their little thing, didn't you? Oh, I
saw a brief glimpse of it.
Like, it was like exactly Bray.
Yeah. He
almost
looked exactly like Bray.
A little bit weird. And anyways.
It is weird, but like I guess that goes to show that they are like brothers, because I feel like the connections that
you felt like you're watching Bray.
Which is nice.
And they're promising revenge on Miz, right? For and then it's a Lyra Valkyria video, and I didn't really like it. It's like they have nothing other than like
Bird.
Kind of, right? Kofi isn't sure what's going on with Xavier Woods. Otis is there, and but escalates, and we're gonna get Woods in that New Day against Otis and Tozawa in a tag match.
I'm waiting for their
because Woods is
to come up.
Woods is just like easily irritated and a jerk now, I guess, leading to whatever's going to happen there. Rollins, Bronson Reed had a match. It was good. I liked it again. Right? They got like 18 minutes. And I don't even remember that. I'm sure Bloodline came out, right? I would imagine. I can't even remember, but I like the match, and I think like Reed is somebody they've really built into something.
They've
right?
done really well with him, yeah.
And he was awesome in Japan. I didn't see it, but I heard like really good things about his run there. So I don't know. I thought these two work really well together. I still don't know about him fitting in with Bloodline, but anyway.
It makes even less sense now that Rollins isn't in the match.
Right. But he's cool, and they've built him up well. NXT, moving on. Nathan Fraser beat Eddie Thorpe in his ISC, what is that, Iron Survivor qualifier. And the tag division is surrounding, right? And because remember, Ava told the tag division to step up, which means constantly fight everywhere all the time. Argue and fight all the time. So that's happening around the ring. And that leads into the finish where Fraser wins with a Phoenix Splash. 10-minute match. Pretty good. I've said it before. Thorpe doesn't do much for me. He's bland. He's not quite like Lexus King bland, although he seems to be improving. But somewhere along those lines. Fraser winning allows the issues with he and Axiom to continue, and they'll kick in even further in a segment.
I feel like they both have to end up in the match, which would be interesting.
Right, but you can't. Do you want Paige to lose?
To Axiom, I think. At this point...
they do one that's a last chance one.
That too.
So Paige could win, Axiom wins the last chance one.
At this point, are we really concerned with Paige losing? Like,
no,
it's too far gone.
And think about...
And losing to Axiom would be far from his worst loss.
So this is a little ahead of ourselves, but both of these Iron Survivor Challenge matches look awesome. Potentially awesome.
I'll watch it.
We've already got, think about it, Wesley, Javon Evans, and Fraser are the three men.
That's pretty sweet.
And I'm thinking probably Axiom to further that story.
That's a crazy quartet.
And then Paige maybe. Like if you do what I want to do.
Because they have done that before.
That's
right?
wild.
Yeah.
The women, You're going to have Vakur, Julia, Azaria. I'm already like, that's amazing, right? So I feel like these, like, especially the women's match, I feel like there's room for it to be a match of the year contender. Because last year's was really good, and it was some of the young ones, remember?
I actually quite like the men's one because it was Briggs, Dijak, Trick.
Yeah. I don't know.
Show Coffee. I'm gonna look it up.
But yeah, I'm thinking both of those matches look really good. So I'm hoping that pay-per-view is awesome.
I don't remember the women's one being great. I remember the men's one was pretty good.
I remember the women's one was she moved up to main roster. She's business.
Davenport.
She won.
Davenport won. Kiana James maybe
That's
won
her.
The other one.
Oh, that was another one.
The women's one was Davenport, Stratton, Lash Legend, Kalani, and Fallon Henley. That one, I don't remember anything, but it
was good.
The men's one was good. It was Trick, Dijak, Briggs, Breaker, and Tyler Bate. Right. I forgot Breaker and
Bate. I wouldn't remember ever.
There was the 2022, right?
So a lot of this show is Chase U, obviously, because the main event is Andre Chase risking. So we get a segment where he goes over the history of the university. There's new students there that we've never
Perez
seen before.
Won that one.
Right.
Oh, and remember then she won the title from Mandy because Mandy was gone randomly. And then there was the other one was Waller beat Mello, McDonough, Gacy, and Axiom. That's a stacked one.
I seem to remember
Waller, Mello, McDonough, Gacy, Axiom.
Oh, I remember. And that was Waller just running around trying not to get pinned at the end, and I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm. And he entered and hit a double stunner to, I think it was McDonough and Axiom.
Yeah, I remember those being good. It's a cool match.
I really want them to put it in 2K. I think it'd be so fun to work out.
It would
in a game.
I told you Julia got a vignette where she mostly speaks Japanese, and she talked about when she came into wrestling, she had no MMA or real training in anything. She just had the experience of getting into real fights, which I thought was kind of interesting, and so hence her style her chaotic style got labeled Beautiful Madness, which has just sort of stuck, and she says she'll win Iron Survivor. And I thought it added a bit of depth, right? This
also,
idea
a good
that
thing about Iron Survivor is that they're guaranteed to be 25 minutes.
That's right.
So can't do your short 15 matches now. 15-minute
matches.
matches.
You're right. Every match is like 14 to 15 minutes. Yep. Kalani's backstage with Stone and Turner. She wants an Iron Survivor challenge or Iron Survivor qualifying match against Julia next week. And Stone and Turner are still bickering over like who has more pull with Ava, because I don't know why anyone cares. But anyways, so Jordan's supposed to be, I think, selling that she's pissed about recent losses, but she's just bad, right, at acting. Jada Parker and Vakur in a qualifier for the Iron Survivor. So this basically ends up with Lola Vice coming out with the brick to distract Parker as she's about to hit her hypnotic, and then so easily distracted, and then Vakur hits, even though I don't think the double underhook backbreaker is a good finisher.
It's a cool move.
Parker's bigger, right, than Vakur, so it looked kind of impressive. Good enough match, felt short, commercial break in the middle of it. The result's never in doubt. And I guess the distraction finish is protecting Parker a bit, right?
Yeah.
She's on a roll.
Although I would have just not
distracted by a brick.
In the corner there.
Like literally stop your run. It's your finisher because you see a lady with a brick.
I did see that.
That's kind of lame. And then a funny Perez social media promo where she's on a beach somewhere, but it's not even like a nice day. Like it doesn't look like you'd. And anyways, Sol Ruka's running by with the surfboard, and she comes up and says she'll be seeing Perez after deadline. So I guess. Brooks Jensen took on Tony D. It was a non-title match, so only 4 minutes. Decent action. It was Tony stuff, right? Like suplexes and spine busters.
Even everything's 4 minutes on TV. 15 minutes is a lot for them.
The finishing, forget about it, was his spine buster's actually pretty big. But so after the match, Spears shakes Tony's hand, and Jensen chop blocks Tony because he had sold a tweak knee early in the match. And I guess the point is that this was Spears' master plan, right?
Right.
And so I'm okay with that. Like my guy's gonna sort of soften you up, and if he can't do it, we've got a plan for after the match too. I hate that I kind of enjoy this, but it's the whole Carmen and Ashanti stuff that is very juvenile, but I don't know. So they're kind of flirting backstage ahead of their mixed tag match that they're having tonight. And again, wildly inconsistent. Now it's like they're okay with each other when Carmen was like super
Nothing
whatever.
to do with them, yeah.
Right. And then I couldn't figure out why they're wearing university gear and talking about football. And then I realized there's college football on CW. So a little bit annoying. Like, you're looking good in that whatever Washington State colored shirt. Right? It was super, super smooth. Lexus King, he's just trying to be the best version of himself, and people are starting to take notice. So it's kind of zoomed in on him, and he's explaining all of his stuff, and then it pulls back, and he's talking to Inamura. So it gave me the vibes of
is that the Japanese dude?
Yeah, so it gave me the vibes of when Nick on New Girl is talking to Tran, and you assume Tran just can't understand, and he's like, "You're such a good listener," and stuff like that. So anyways, Briggs comes in to ask what that was about, and Inamura just says he doesn't know because this is a crazy place. And then the camera pans again, and it's, hey, tag teams brawling everywhere. And he's like, my kind of crazy. So yeah, anyways, Ashanti again. So it is their match. It's he and Petrovic taken on. Do you remember?
Is this the match with Reese and...
Yep, Reese and Dion Lennox.
Dion Lennox. That's the one I forgot.
Lennox is a super impressive athlete, clearly, but like, if you took a Wrestling 101, this is the curriculum. It's all like hip toss, running clothesline. But again, he's super fast,
like
and he can really jump.
Match kind of thing.
Oh my God, so much so. Adonis at one point wants a kiss from Brindley Reese, and Reese slaps him, and then he turns around. She turns around into the head kick of Petrovic. So it was 4 minutes, and then the winners seem to be happy with each other, and I think they have a moment where they like raise each other's hand because they won.
Did he not just try to kiss Reese though?
Yes, but I know, because he's a player. Hate the player, not the game. And the referee like separates their hands, I think it was.
Isn't he hate the game?
Yeah. What did I say?
The other way around.
That's right. That's how cool I am. A later segment, this was kind of funny too. Carmen and Ashante are discussing their win and being like, we're really good in the ring. What about outside the ring? Like, it's just so stupid, but I don't hate it. And then Nikita Lyons just walks by and she goes, I'm still waiting for that text to Ashante. And then Carmen's immediately pissed off and gone. So let me ask you, she's mad at him for not sending a text? Because Lyons is like...
No, I think she's mad at him because like that implies that they're texting.
I think it implies, I guess. See, I took it as she's initiating a text conversation and he's not responding.
I think it's like you could easily have it as a text conversation and he just hasn't responded yet.
Yeah.
Or that they just haven't had one.
But it's so teenager.
Lyons is obviously bullshitting it.
Yeah. And I would love that if she's just...
I feel like that's pretty likely.
Machiavellian. She's just causing crap to cause crap.
I could see that being likely.
So anyways, I should hate it and I don't. Another serious promo from Holland about killing Chase U. Definitely improved.
Killing Chase U.
Another Iron Survivor qualifier, Ren Sinclair and Zarya. So Ren gets a little bit of offense and does some escapes and counters and stuff, but eventually, obviously, Zarya. Nope. Overpowers her. She did a suplex, rolls through while maintaining the hold, and then picks her back up, does a stalling suplex that ends with her holding her up with one arm, which is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, you did show me that because I was in the room.
Zarya's cool, man. She's really cool. So she ends up with a really nice-looking spear and a pretty cool F5 to win. Zarya looks really good, and Ren is pretty solid in ring, too, I think. Tony D is mad. He demands a match with Spears after the post-match attack. Ava agrees, and then Thorpe is like, what? He just sort of... Tony's getting it. Basically, Thorpe doesn't get what he wants, and Tony does. Like, you're giving the guy that set up an attack a championship match, and I got distracted by a bunch of tag teams. I want you to, like, throw out the referee's decision, basically.
He should just ask to be in the second chance match.
And that's true. That would be the
unless that's not a thing, then in which case...
I think it is.
But maybe they just don't do it. I don't know.
Maybe. Ava denies Thorpe's request. He leaves frustrated. And I guess, like, it's something new for Thorpe. He's like a whiny... Is that a heel thing? Feels like, right?
I feel like he's justified, though. So
a little bit. Well, I don't know. Everyone that's distracted by stuff now gets that...
I guess so.
It didn't happen.
Everyone gets mad about it.
Feels heely to me.
I guess so.
Something new would be fine for him, right? He needs something.
DJ Platonic.
I do like that. And I forgot about that. And in a later segment related to this, Brooks and Spears are backstage. Spears says it's exactly what he wanted, so it was the plan. And then Nico, don't know who he is, walks in and says the title match is set.
Nico Vance.
Right. Fatal Influence in the ring doing a promo. No, it's not good. Then they do the thing where everyone gets to speak. Jasmine Nix, and the crowd wasn't really having it either.
Tracy Jean's been there forever, and she's still horrible.
And so heel champion Henley issues an open challenge, because that's what heels do. And Meta 2 come out, right? Lash speaks first. Jasmine and Jane sort of leave the room to confront Meta 2, but then Nikita Lyons comes out, says Lash already had a chance at Crown Jewel at Gold, so Lyons wants the title shot. Boom, attack from behind by Rizzo. And then the whole women's locker room comes out and brawls Will Washington. Like, the tag team division is doing it on the same show.
The men are just well behaved if they're not in tag teams, because
that's
the
right.
singles divisions are fine.
Well, no, Ava didn't tell them to step up. They're just waiting. They're like a pit bull on a leash right now.
A bunch of lapdogs waiting for Ava's commands.
The part that went over really well.
Just don't
here,
send
though,
them into the parking lot, because things are already dangerous enough.
That's right. I have AEW too. It's spreading. It's an epidemic. So all the women are brawling outside as Henley's in the ring alone watching, and Tatum Paxley sneaks in and hits her it's called the Psycho Blade. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think it was
looks
kind of
cool.
It's okay. I don't buy it as a finisher though. And I also thought it was kind of dumb.
I buy it more than Vickers and Jada Parker's, and I love them both.
I just thought it's kind of it doesn't look impactful enough, and I thought it was kind of dumb the way she had to sneak in to hit it. Like, it's not the kind of move you should be able to hit from behind, because it involves
it's hard to do
pretty convoluted setup.
Yeah,
it'd be like if someone sneaks it from behind, does the the overdrive.
Yes,
yes, come on,
that's very similar.
That's gotta be one of the best moves ever.
Paxley got a huge reaction though, so I don't think she's bad. So I don't know. Let's see what she's got, I guess. There's an NXT Spotlight thing. It's Ethan Page. He's hyped about the Iron Survivor, et cetera, et cetera. And then they go right to that. Axiom and Fraser are backstage, and Fraser's like, "Oh man, that's like a former champion, and he's probably going to win his match and get in." And Axiom's, "No, he won't." And he's like, no, like he's a champion. I would assume he's going to win. And he's like, "Well, no, his partner is me."
Byron Saxton's finisher is horrible.
And then Fraser seems irritated instantly, but sort of recovers, because he's like, "I'm happy for you, not like you were unhappy for me."
Right, trying to one-up him.
Yes. So we'll see where that... again, this complicated relationship between these two, I really like it. And I think... Don't you feel like then they have to both be in it to further this?
That's what I'm saying. It has to happen.
That'd be sweet. And then main event...
It'll be great, and it'll have a good story in the match too, then besides just being the number one contenders thing.
Yeah, exactly. It would
kind of like what we like in a good Rumble match.
Exactly. You got to have other stuff happening, either furthering or starting, I really like the main event. I was very, very sports entertained by this. I think this is WWE doing sports entertainment well. The action itself was good. You had Holland looking like a beast. He hit his, what's it called now? The Rampage? No, the Redeemer. So there was a spot where he hit the Redeemer, and that's been a pretty protected move. And so they pull, the rest of Chase U pull Chase. Oh no, if they pull the ref out of the ring. So then the ref's down. Hudson gets his hands on Holland. The crowd loves that. Holland ends up spearing him through a wall that's there, and then Holland comes out, and Riley does I think it was a Fosbury flop or something, and I felt like he accidentally kicked Thea right in the head. She was down too. Anyways, you got what was it? He hit Chase hit a sit out Liger bomb or something too for a near fall. And then basically, so I was sort of thinking, okay, so Chase U is like this beloved little staple of NXT, right? Really endearing. I'm not sure if they're going to end it, but really, how could Chase win? And then I'm like, okay, Holland can't beat all of them, so they're gonna. But no, Holland hits the.
I was saying to you,
Redeemer one more time, and it's over.
Confident that it would be Holland, yeah.
And man, people so good. All these cuts to people. First of all, tons of people had Chase U shirts on. Plants for sure, more than usual.
A lot of them
not
were,
plants, but like Given shirts. I'm
at
sure.
The very least, yeah.
And like people looking shocked and upset by this. Like so good. Multiple people.
I like that. Super expectations sometimes.
This is what I mean. The sports entertainment of this, right? It was the drama of it, and just. The match was pretty good
and
too.
like even surprised you, right? So that's
yes,
I like
for
that.
sure. And now They did sort of phrase, I forget the exact phrasing, but like it wasn't like Chase You Will Die. It was like we're going to see not like a different version, but there's some wiggle room for it to exist in some capacity.
Hudson University, just named after the...
There's already Duke University, so that'd be funny. They would never be able to do that.
That would be funny.
Anyways, I guess they're grooming Holland for a title run. Would you rather have Holland or Trick as champion?
Holland, because I know Trick sucks.
And Holland,
I'll see what Rich can do.
And Holland might suck, but
he might suck. Trick for sure
sucks.
Suck,
but he might not. So who knows? So yeah, I really like the main event. I'm really curious to see where Andre Chase goes and the university goes. I was surprised, and the people in attendance were shocked. Very sports entertaining. Do you have anything from SmackDown has happened? Right?
Yeah.
Notable.
I thought Kevin Owens was great just because, he's
he
right.
Great.
Cody's wrong. Like, he's basically like, we dedicated so much to take down the bloodline. Roman's the guy who tried to end my career. Now you're teaming with him.
Right.
And so Owens is right.
Yep.
Cody's wrong.
Yep.
Punk joined the bloodline. That's dumb.
Yeah. I can't stand that idea. That is all. Nice. Well, Punk is back and just right into the biggest program, right?
Yep. Now we move to Full Gear preview.
Oh, yeah. So we will...
have to segue to that.
I'll put in a little something here as we head into our preview of AEW Full Gear that is happening technically today because it's after midnight, right? So here we go.
That is true.
Yep, here it comes. Okay, let's talk Full Gear. I'm kind of excited to watch it, so...
Well, I can only parlay that excitement into Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall on the pre-show. It's not going to be QT.
Big Boom AJ.
Sorry, can you say bring the boom?
Bring the boom AJ? Is that it?
You said the thing.
Did I do it?
I just wanted you to say bring the boom.
There's no reason QT needs to win. The crowd wants him to lose.
The only reason he's here is to lose.
Apparently this other guy is relevant. So there you go.
Say bring the boom again.
That's all the oxygen that bring the boom gets.
You want to say double chunk chocolate cookie?
Double chunk chocolate cookie.
All right.
I'm hip now.
Recent addition to the pre-show, which I honestly kind of want to watch, is Dante Martin versus Mordos versus Commander versus Buddy Matthews.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
That's amazing.
I'm taking Mordos just for the fun of it. Like,
Sorry,
I don't really.
Who are the other ones?
It's
Dante?
Murphy, Commander, and Dante Martin.
Okay, Commander,
just give it to Mordos. Come on.
Commander never wins.
Matthews just lost recently, and Dante maybe.
I'll take Dante.
All right, that's fair.
I just feel like
I'm just taking Mordos because who gives a crap, and it's Mordos.
I just feel like the rest of them are there to lose all the time.
Yeah. $5 says Commander's the fall guy.
Definitely.
Like, I don't even need Mordos to win. I just need him to not lose.
And he'll be chucking those dudes around.
Oh, Mordos and Murphy in the same match.
That could be a really fun match. What pre-show match did we love?
I don't know if this is the exact one you're thinking, but it was Death Triangle versus House of Black.
Yes.
But instead of...
it was that one.
I think it was instead of Phoenix, it was Eric Rowan. Remember? He was just really good.
He was really good.
It's like my favorite match of his. It was so weird. That was the one though. Okay, main card. Mercedes Moné defending the TBS title against Chris Statlander. The feud holds none of my interest and still doesn't make complete sense to me. Statlander doesn't feel like she's been built up. Moné wins.
Yes, I don't think Moné's losing for quite a while, and she's not losing to Statlander in Statlander's
can't imagine you differ.
Current state.
Jack Perry versus Garcia for the TNT title. I said Perry's run has been mixed from a title run standpoint. I still enjoy his character work, but
agree.
Speaking as on the title run,
yep.
And I think if they drop the ball Garcia one more time, it's game over. We literally just said that you can't do it again. I think he needs to win here.
He has to win.
And Perry will be fine if he loses. Like, I still think he's cool and he can do his own thing.
If Garcia loses, you have to admit you don't have plans for him and just let him go. Release him. You're
done if he loses. So it has to be Garcia. So I can assume you're on that boat as well.
I'm not going out on the limb. No.
Then we get Hangman Page versus Jay White.
Tougher.
One of the hardest ones to pick for me. I do love that Switchblade has an essentially a perfect record on Hangman. But Hangman's also doing some of the best work of his career, and it would do well for him to get a win here since he lost already. And then also I just feel like he's...
But imagine how mad he could be if he loses again.
I know. But then, like, does this end, though? You know what I mean? He talked about destroying White's leg while White has talked about making him tap. So we both we set up a finish either way. So that's not a dead giveaway either.
No.
You know what I mean? Like they've both kind of set out their Chekhov's gun kind of thing. I could see White challenging Mox since he's oddly a face, but I don't know if he fits the current narrative, so maybe not. I do think Hangman needs his win back. I can't say with certainty, but I'm gonna take Hangman.
That's where I'm leaning towards too. I'm just trying to see if I want to.
And then if we really want to do a third, go for it. But I feel like Hangman, like, he finally needs to get a win and, like, have some vindication in this. Because, like, then I'm
just asking myself, have they talked about him not ever beating him enough for me to think that's... Or can we prolong it? I got to take Hangman.
Yeah. I feel like it's just the way to go.
I do too.
Hey, I don't care if I'm wrong there, really. But
I don't think he needs to lose matches in a row at this point.
For sure. That's kind of my thought process as well. And even if it's like not a clean win, he can heel logic it and say, I didn't have help this time. So then we got MJF versus Broderick Strong. It's a bit of an outside bet, but I'm betting on the Kingdom to turn on Roddy and Cole, maybe joining, but at least helping MJF to win. I see no reason Roddy needs to beat MJF. Really?
No, it's not happening.
MJF has to win for even that reason alone.
Just they're not on the same level, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Match should be good. Roddy is amazing in ring. MJF is awesome in ring.
Yeah.
I don't know about who's turning what, but I'm pretty sure MJF wins this. Yeah.
Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley. Robert Lashes. Swerve's in a bit of a downswing right now off the back of All Out, and it's Lashley's big pay-per-view debut, so there's really no reason he should lose. They've done a great job building Shelton as a killer, and they need to do the same with Lashley, and if he loses, you can't do that.
That's the answer.
The same. So the Hurt Syndicate needs to be taken seriously. Lashes for the W.
Yeah, he's not... I don't think you can have him lose on his pay-per-view debut, right?
You can't do that, especially with how good I think they've done with the Hurt Syndicate so far.
And I assume there's lots of interference and whatever.
I would even go as far to bet on Rush, maybe... interfering.
Swerve can stay strong.
That has me betting on like 3 interferences on the show.
Roosh.
Yeah. That has me betting on 3 interferences on the show because what? Davis, then Kingdom, and Leo Rush.
Will
but
Washington.
Honestly, whatever. I'm pitching it. I think it works. Then we got Private Party versus Outrunners versus Kings of the Black Throne versus the Acclaimed. Private Party have to win for me. For them to fall at the first hurdle after all that build-up and the big title win, which I thought was great, would be so disappointing. And so for me, Outrunners are a team that should not have the belts. I think they're fun and I enjoy them, but it's like giving R-Truth the tag belts.
Yeah.
Who would do that?
No, they are different and fun, but they're not tag. Especially with guys. Private Party just getting it and them telling us this is elevating Private Party.
Right. House of Black are awesome. Kings of Black Throne are super cool. But I feel they deserve a build to have the titles. Like I don't want to just chuck it to them here just because they're great.
And you can't do it took them 5 years to win this title, and now you have to take them seriously and their chance.
And then the Acclaimed don't need another title run.
No,
so they need a change.
It's Private Party.
Yeah, it's pretty clear for me.
That I'm very confident in.
I think that should be a cool match. Though. There's a lot of different dynamics in there. Then we get Takeshita defending the international title against Ricochet. There's no universe where it shouldn't be Takeshita. I refuse to accept he loses his first pay-per-view defense to Ricochet of all people. No offense, but he's not that interesting. 3 letters, TOE.
I also take Takeshita. So I'd hate to steal their gimmick, but there's another podcast. I think I've told you. So let's say there's 9 matches on the card. You also assign, they call it confidence points. So you know what I mean? And that's how, so then they add up the points after,
That'd be
I
interesting.
think. Yeah. You got to call it something else.
Maybe we pilot that next time. I'm not.
Right. So it's like, that's the one I'm sure of. It gets 9 confidence points.
Yeah. But I would try that for me World's End then.
It's just stealing gimmicks from other places.
Yeah. I'll think about that for the next one for sure. Then we got Ospreay versus Fletcher. I'm super hyped for this one. The feud's been built really well. Fletcher's proved himself to be a complete package as a heel. Ospreay's the best around, so the potential's through the roof for me. I'm betting on Davis finally signing with Fletcher to give Fletcher a huge win. But that would be one that somewhat protects Ospreay. For me, I think both these guys are great future investments, but I think Fletcher winning is most optimal. I think Ospreay won't be incredibly damaged by a loss. I think this is like Fletcher's coming out party. I think it's more important for him to win. Ospreay, even if he loses here, he's still a main event guy. He's still like on his way up. You know what I mean? I think Fletcher, this is helping him on his way up. I think the whole point is that it's helping Fletcher. And I think him losing here would do him a huge disservice. I think we're building him here, and I think Ospreay will be fine.
I'll take
especially if it's sturdy.
I'll take Ospreay.
Really? All right.
And maybe I'll say Davis does the opposite and screws Fletcher over.
I think Fletcher needs to win. I think it's a mistake.
I don't know if they think he needs to win.
I think they're putting stock into him, and I think they've done a good job so far. And this would be
I'm fine if he does win.
I think he should. I would almost, even though I love Ospreay, I would dare I say be disappointed.
7 confidence points.
Yeah, I just believe that's the right thing to do. And in AEW, I'm more confident that they will do the right thing.
Yeah. I'll just to be different.
That's
and
fine.
Partly I do.
I'm
think
not trying to sway
happen.
you since you said it. Like,
yeah,
it's set.
I'm taking Ospreay.
But I just think like at least it's not WWE where I'm having a fever dream.
Right.
Then Moxley versus Cassidy. This should be a strong match too. The build has been as such, but Cassidy's a quality challenger, no doubt about it. But it's too soon to pull the plug on the Death Riders. Cassidy isn't the guy to do it. I'm a firm believer in that it's Darby.
It is.
And the timing's not right, even if it was Darby.
And Moxley wins here for sure. There's no way they're like halting this.
No, because I think it's been really good, and also it's like that would be like halting the invasion too soon.
We got to get Darby up in them rafters.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so that's that wrapped up. I think that's everything this week, is it?
Yeah, I'll say I'm just figuring because there was a bunch of reveals, but I'm tired.
Me too.
So I can table that for later.
Circle back around to that next week at the end.
Sorry for the one person who's waiting for that.
Exactly. 1,000 persons. That's going to wrap up episode 227.
Persons
Thanks.
With a Z.
Exactly. Thanks for taking some time out of your week to listen to us ramble about wrestling and other things. We really do appreciate it. We'll be back here next week, same time.
We'll see.
Similar time.
We'll see if we review Full Gear or not. It's typically a strong show.
Hopefully we love it enough that and it's Saturday, so we can do it Sunday.
I know 2022 is our best show. I'm actually curious. I'll scroll down really fast.
Do you work Sunday?
Yeah.
What time?
4.
So it's possible.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of crap. But,
hopefully we love it enough that we want to come down and talk about it.
Where was best pay-per-view? Yeah, last 2 years we picked Full Gear.
Okay.
So there's a lot riding on it for sure.
Yeah, so hopefully we like it enough to make some extra content for you guys. If not, we'll definitely talk about it next Saturday on 228. And until then, everybody, take care.